that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who want to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of it, all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out there? Hello? How y'all doing out there? Hopefully everything is working out on the technical side. Cookie Monster say body work. Salute Cookie Monster. I'll get my microphone checker. Checker. Let me know how I sound. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding ever awesome as usual. Whoa. That's what I like to hear, that I'm loud and clear. Cookie Monster. I appreciate you. Let me just put something out here. That's the link for anybody who want to chop it up. You say always. Okay. Well, how was I gonna do this? Yeah, I was gonna do it like that. Well, it's gonna be a little bit different today. You know what I'm saying? It's more kind of like a relaxed vibe. You know what I mean? It's not as structured as I normally would have it. You know, because I kind of want to have some open dialogue on this one. Just want to talk to my people, man. Like the people that's down. Talk to the 300. You know what I'm saying? And get down to the bottom of some things. Let me go over my housekeeping. Salute the AC. Say salute body work. Salute AC. Let's go into the housekeeping. And it's not much today. Housekeeping. Number one, man. Boots should fight Mel Charlo. You know, I'm not gonna get sucked into. I know everybody want to get. I know everybody want to get stuck on the drama. Everybody want to like just you know, vehemently express how much of a duck Virgil Ortiz is and how he's wrong, and it wasn't none of that energy. It wasn't none of that energy a couple months ago, back when Boots denied that contract. When he turned it down, there was none of that information. Nobody vehemently called Boots a duck. You know, people every day, every week, people are just exposing themselves, man, as far as how they view things and, you know, how they view boxing. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is really toxic, and that's why people sit around and talk about the same old thing like every day. You know what I'm saying? But I have been said that Boots was in between a rock and a hard place, and I've already foreshadowed everything. I told everybody, I tried to forewarn everybody not to get their hopes all high, because you know, you're dealing with Eddie, you're dealing with Oscar. You know, I'm not sure why we always get caught up and find ourselves in these rock and these hard places, and we always find ourselves dazed and confused, and we look like those guys, those fans that Bob Arum once told us about when he said boxing fans are dumb as rocks, where you could just throw them wherever you want them and they'll stay there. Like, that's how we are. We are so easily manipulated, and it's just like the public school system. You know, once I figured out that, you know, the school system is built on that rote learning system, which is memorization and regurgitation, and they slowly but surely took away our critical thinking skills. That's how we are as fans. Like, we leave, like, we get online, we just leave our brains at home, right? Because most of us, a lot of people, especially the creators, they're just stealing. You know what I'm saying? It's so flagrant right now to where people are literally just stealing. Like, people will sit around, listen to whatever it is you got to say, and then later on that day, they're gonna go online and they're gonna have these eureka moments where they're coming out talking about, I've been told you. They didn't hear anything. They sat through a live, they took cliff notes, and then people are super chatting and paying them. So, like, most of the time when you get online, you're hearing secondhand information. Nobody is creative and everybody is drama centric. Like, everybody want a storyline or drama. Everybody wants some WWE, WWF, like boxing. And this is why boxing is, in part, why boxing is in the state where it's at. Why? Because some of this bleeds over into what they're questioning these fighters about. Some of this bleeds over into what fighters actually believe, like, their fans really think about them. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, there are a lot of legacy fights going on right now, and nobody is talking about them. I know that when I talk about legacy fights, the views, they probably be like the least amount of views, but I try to stay on legacy fights or a little bit of the underdog, or try to highlight, you know what I'm saying, if one fighter's getting all the shine, I try to highlight the other one in contrast to give people something to think about. Those don't really get any views. You know, those get the least amount of views. But everybody's stuck on the drama. So right now, everybody's stuck on the drama and the whole ordeal about what happened with Virgil Ortiz and Boots. And I'm like, you're getting ready to get swept up in the whirlwind the same way. Because remember, this is starting to be a pattern. Remember, it was Boots and Norman. And if y'all don't recall, like, look at this. This is why I say, let me show y'all something. Y'all see this? This is a pattern. Like, this is all we do. It's like, this is all we do. And look, it done moved. Like, do y'all see this? We didn't get this. They took and split that whole fan base up, right? We didn't even get Fahrenheit 147 with Brian Norman and Boots. But this is what they do. This is the tactic. They divide and they conquer. Like, and they're so good at it. But if you recall, we just went through this with Boots, the D-HIVE, and the Normans. And people couldn't see through the shenanigans. I came out and did a whole timeline of events, a chain of lemony snickets, unfortunate events, outlining exactly what happened. Date and chronological order, importance, all of that. It wasn't respected. You know what people did? They used that as a tool to go back and do research. And guess what they came up with? They came up with the exact opposite, the antithesis to what I actually said. Go figure. It take a lot of research to be able to say something that's on the opposite end of somebody else. And we have people, no matter how fucking dumb they sound, they're going to come out and say the opposite of what I'm saying. Why? Because they want to be the antithesis to what, even though it don't make sense. But we just went through this with Boots and Norman. We just went and we didn't get to fight. So now here y'all go. Y'all going through it again with Boots and Virgil. So beforehand, I was asking, okay, listen, man, if you one of them one, if you the second coming of Roy Jones, if you a combination of Roy Jones, Terrence Bud Crawford, and Pernell Whitaker, Why are you jumping up trying to dip your toe and then your ankle and then half your shin and then your knee and then half your thigh and then your hip into the water? If you one of them ones, you do what Shakur's doing. Oh, yeah, Shakur. Like, yeah, he finally got me. He finally is actually doing something where I can actually give him full-fledged credit and I can get off his back. Devin, he's finally doing something where I can give him full-fledged credit and get off his back. Devin's moving up and he's fighting Brian Norman, the champion. At 147, a weight division, he should be at 154 for real. For him and Boots should be in the same weight division. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But I have to commend Devin. I have to give Devin his salute for actually taking on Brian Norman. I gotta give Shakur a salute for actually taking on Teofimo Lopez. And this is all that me personally, this is all I wanted them guys to do. I'm a little perturbed at Teofimo Lopez for not unifying, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let him make it because he is fighting a great fighter like Shakur Stevenson. So I'm really all for Devin and them back. I'm really all for Shakur and them back. So now I want to promote the fight. But guess what? The fact that that fight was announced, it does not tickle the fancies of everybody out online. They still want to talk about drama. And what is this drama? This drama is the Virgil and Boots stuff. That's going to be just as toxic as the Shakur and Tank stuff, just as toxic as the Norman and Boots stuff. And we're not going to get the fight. I told you all before the fight that the fight wasn't going to be next. Robert Garcia told y'all that the fight wasn't going to be next. It could be. It could be, but we got too many people that stuck putting all the emphasis and the blame, like calling somebody a duck 1,000 times is actually going to get them to want to fight. It's not. It's actually just going to get them to tune you out. It don't work. Because they have businesses. They're like cattle. They're like livestock. They are investments. They're trending. They're like tickers on Wall Street. Right now, Virgil has the juice. Should he have it? He got momentum. He's been active. You know, I mean, should he fight Boots? Yeah. But we knew he wasn't going to do it. So why are we sitting around arguing about it? I seen somebody, I sat and watched. I watched as much as I could earlier today where somebody just basically took the whole live from the other night, piggybacked off of it, and now they have this Eureka moment. Like they've been just telling you about Eddie and Oscar and how the European fighters get paid but not Boots. They're the first ones to actually come up with this shit. And they're getting paid. They're getting Cash App. They're getting Super Chat. Like they actually came up with this shit. That's robbery. Because you know where you heard that first. That's why I told y'all, relax, chill. Do not get caught up in this. Because the writing was already on the wall. If you was really paying attention and you was following the bouncing ball all along, the writing was on the wall. I actually pointed out the other night that Ryan Garcia just got 20 mil for fighting Rolly off of a 1-year suspension. He's getting ready to get another title shot. We brought up how Ben Whitaker did the show me the money thing with Eddie and all that just the other day, and they showed the money to Jerry Maguire. Like they just did that, but now they want to run around with the talking point like Virgil and them is a duck because they asked for 10 million. That's just a number. It's just like it's the same thing that happened with Bud when Thurman and them said 10 mil. They said, "Oh man, he priced himself out." No negotiate. Typically, you negotiate. I said, "What happened to negotiations?" What happened to negotiations? Oh man, this wild, man. I got an analogy just popped in my head, but I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna spare y'all the analogy, man. But it don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense at all, man. Why are we getting caught up in this, man? I tried to tell y'all, man. Boots should have jumped up, used his leverage. And I hate to sound like a broken horse because When Keyshawn was getting ready to move up, he lost his leverage. He blew the weight, lost his belt, didn't even get a fight. De Los Santos was like, nah, just pay me my bread and I'm out. Lost all his momentum, like put a big ass splinter in his career. Just hit the big pause button right in the middle of his career. When Shakur was getting ready to take off and he was getting ready to come up to 35, he blew all his leverage. He lost his belt on the scale. Except for Conceição, he actually went through with the fight. Now, Shakur put hands and feet on him. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. He pretty much weight bullied that man, beat the crap out of him. You know what I'm saying? And he made his statement. Nobody says nothing. No, his fan base didn't say anything. But he lost his leverage. Boots. He unifies. Get the Ring magazine. He already had the IBF. He unifies. He gets the WBA. And they throw in the ring because they labeled Stan Giannis as the number 2 guy in the division. Meanwhile, they both got their belts around the same time. You know what I'm saying? They both inherited their belts when whatever happened with Bud happened. So they get their belts. Whoop-de-doo. They lose their leverage. Boots don't move up and use his leverage. He just let his belts he just move up. A day before Norman fight, he just moves up to 154. After they were saying, "No, man, why y'all rushing Boots to go to 54?" First, it was everybody was rushing Boots. Then he up and moved, and they said, "Oh, well, he been there for 10 years." They just flipped and they flop and they flip and they flop and they flop and they flip all the time. He didn't use his leverage to get Bakram. He didn't even use his leverage to get in the mix with the WBA. Why? Then they deny the fact that he wanted 2 tune-ups. Well, he didn't really want 2 tune-ups, but he is looking like he's going to wind up getting 2 tune-ups. Why? Because Robert Garcia said they already got a venue, a date and a time that they're going to go. I guess they don't have the opponent worked out, but they already have it. And if the op already know that, then they're going to play the A side. They're going to play, hold on, man, you already got something. So you pretty much locked in and obligated to that date and the time. We don't move to the beat of your drum. This is our career. Right now, we have the juice. That's a business move. Everybody ignored me when I said, why this man didn't use? I couldn't even ask that question because I was sounding like a hater. I'm like, why didn't he use his leverage? Like, you didn't blow weight. Like, why didn't you just use your leverage and get it? But then they denied that they wanted the 2 tune-ups. But then, because Turkey said, hey, you want a big fight, then holler at me. If not, then stick with Eddie. And guess what happened? He stuck with Eddie, and we got a tune-up that he obliterated. He turned down a fight with Virgil a couple months ago. He said he wanted to be undisputed. Then they said they wanted Norman. Then they said they wanted Conwell. Then they wanted to bring Speedy Washidi up to 54. They didn't know what they wanted to do. And me, since I've been a fan of a couple guys that went over the Matchroom, Richardson Hitchens, Sabril Matias. I like Tito Mercado. I like Andy. I like Bam. I've been following these guys. I've been seeing the move. I like Demetrius Andre. So it was a track record of what happened when you go over there and you mess with Eddie. So I was saying, listen, man, he'll speak the world of you. Especially if you shy, you know what I'm saying? He'll speak, he'll sing all your glowing praises and tell the media exactly what they want to say and make it seem like you just the best thing since sliced bread. If that's what you need, that's what you need. But the writing was already on the wall because I already seen what Eddie do when he procures talent. If you look at the momentum that Richardson Hitchens had, he just stopped Cambosos to the body doing that body work. What happened? He didn't get his unification with T.O. Why not? Who knows? They tried to blackball that man. Turkey Al-Sheikh was like, nah, I ain't messing with you if you ain't with Eddie. We don't really know who Tito Mercado getting ready to fight. We know Andy Cruz getting the belt because he won the purse bid. We see Conor Ben, he getting ready to do the circus show again. Act 2. Boots is in limbo. So I was like, okay, well, we can't cry over spilled milk. He didn't get Bakram. right? He got Lima. Uisma Lima. He got Lima. He did what he was supposed to do. Stoppage. Minute and 50-something seconds in the game. Okay, cool. What's next? I said, don't hit y'all trailer to a wagon. I said, whenever it's a fight, the subject that you have to rely on another promotional company who owns the right to that fighter, that's not a bird in the hand. That's looking like two in the bush. It can't be a foregone conclusion. You can get everybody online hype, and you can get everybody talking about it, but that's going to do nothing for your career. What else we've been saying? We've been saying that Eddie got to get over this stuff to where he thinking people going to get in there with a ham sandwich and a bag of salt and vinegar chips just to get in the ring with him. And a huggy. They're not going to do it. When you skilled and talented and you know what I'm saying, and you bigger than everybody else, you better than everybody else, people going to want bigger and better money. That's not a sin to ask for. Have you seen the G-Man lately? They just been posting with Frito Benitez out there. Like, have you seen these guys? People are asking for that manyan. Like, what are we talking about? We just gonna let Eddie just float around, just sell us a dream. Well, he sold Boots a dream, and now he look like he hurting. Well, why are you bringing all this up, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? The reason why I'm bringing it up is because Bakram didn't have a fight up until recently. Eddie won that purse bid, so he gonna get it on with Josh Kelly, his mandatory. Cool. That could be an option. Xander and Abbas Baru, they're gonna get it on. I think Fundor played a little chess move. They pulled out, you know what I'm saying, and they reset the date. So I'm thinking that was a little chess move to kind of see what was going on. So all the champions are tied up. Well, who's better? Because most of the time they be saying best opponent, that's one. Best available opponent, that's two. Best option available. Well, who would be the best opponent available? The former undisputed champion at 154 pounds, Jermell Iron Man Charlo. So regardless of whatever he did when he went up there to 168, he was still that guy at 154. It's real funny how when these guys that was considered over the hill or old or long on the truth, like the Chris Algieri's, the ABs, the Van Heerdens. It's cool when you a young hungry lion and you on the prowl. It's cool when they are, but when it's a hungry lion that ain't that old, never been knocked out. When he got a tie, he came back in there. He knocked somebody block off. When he suffered that loss to Tony Harrison, which, you know what I'm saying, people could have said, nah, that wasn't a true loss. He got back in there. He knocked his block off. Nothing but uppercuts. It's after getting outboxed for a little while. Came back and stopped the show. He has equalizers. He was the one who did that to Lubin. It's real funny how when he come on and say he want to fight, he say 10 million. Oh, he's pricing himself out. Y'all got to get this pricing yourself out shit out of your head. It sounds like an excuse. If somebody come on and say 10 million, that means, okay, let's have a conversation. You jumped out there with 10 mil. That don't mean you're going to get it. Negotiate. But it's clear that Virgil don't want to go down that path. So what, we going to spend the next 3-4 months talking about this shit? When you got options, you got a Jermell Charlo out there saying, hey, man, and then you called him a cub. Why not? Why not go see Jermell Charlo? Don't make no excuses for him. If he don't want no tune-up, if he don't want to do that, no, he said 10 mil. Go holler at this dude to figure out what y'all can get done. Because I guarantee if you talk to him and y'all real about a fight, then y'all gonna meet somewhere where it's gonna be reasonable, where he's gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. Given these circumstances, okay, cool. Because he's at the mercy of having to make a fight as well. What better name for him? But I always see that when it seems like it might be, because that would still be high risk. Yeah, I'm gonna be the first to say it. For Boots, that'll still be high risk. You know why? Because Jermell Charlo is one of my favorite fighters. Y'all know who my favorite fighters are. Tank, Spence, Jermell. Yeah. Spence is out the he's out the loop. Ortiz trying to breathe life into him. Jamel is right there. Why not? Because it was crazy how everybody was vying for AB. Everybody was trying to get Algieri. A lot of y'all ran through the Delormes. Y'all ran through the Van Hildens. Y'all ran through the Algieris. Run through a Jamel Charlo. Oh, no, that would be too much of a risk. And I don't want to hear none of that from nobody in the peanut gallery talking about that man need to get back and get his feet wet. No, that sounds like your pussy clot. That's what it sounds like to me. But y'all dumbasses can sit around and get led by the noses. I told y'all, they say, hey, lean forward, and they'll stick their fingers up your nose and lead you all around the boxing YouTube streets just like this on some dumb shit. Boots, holla at Jamel, man. It'll do so much for your legacy. You go in there, if you beat him, you knock him out, you drop him, you know what I'm saying, you make him look average, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Even if you happen to lose. Which I'm prone to believe. Even if you take a L, hey, at least you tried to take out one of the old. I don't think that lion is old. I don't think he's ready to be put out in green pastures just yet. Yeah, I would like to see him get his feet wet. But if that man's out there looking for that smoke, oblige him. I'm guaranteeing you, I probably guarantee you he'll get in there for less than 10 mil. But you got to talk to him. That's just like if the first time you holler at a bro and y'all getting ready to link up and she say, oh, well, I got, we at least got to be at the A-Loft. Oh, man, you ain't trying to do nothing, man. What? Have a conversation. Have a cup of coffee. Go have brunch. It's not rocket science. But you got options, man. I just hate that people, like, you let them people up there in Philly, man. Not all of them. My man Crush up there, he's a straight shooter. He don't be getting into all of that bullshit, all the shenanigans and politics. He ain't gonna pussyfoot around just because you in the same city and town. You know what I'm saying? He might support and all that, but he gonna speak the truth. So I'm not talking about everybody in Philly. I'm just talking about a certain clique and clan that just put out there and want to sit around and talk about everybody else and make it seem like everybody else is the problem without doing no self-inventory. Without saying, listen, you linked up with Eddie. Why is Eddie paying Conor Ben? Why is Eddie paying Ben Whitaker? Why is Eddie winning purse bids with a guy that ain't even on his label in Bakram? He just won a purse bid with Andy Cruz. But when it come down to Boots, you lowballing. It's a history of lowballing people. It's a history of playing games about when you want to fight. And now anybody who say any kind of number, oh, they pricing themselves out. Like, knock it off. It's getting annoying. The people are just, like, it's frustrating to me because that's all people, these dumbass especially these new people. These new people, they don't even know shit about. They haven't even been around to follow this shit. You know what they do? They sit around, they watch channels. They watch these veteran channels, the people who really know what they're talking about. They take their talking points, and then they bring that shit over there, have a whole bunch of people jump on the panty, and have a whole bunch of people arguing. That's it. It ain't nothing to it. They don't care about the sport of boxing. The best thing Boots should do right now, he could grab the bull by the horns and try to put one of these old dogs out to green pastures. Why don't you take and try to do, since you the second coming to Earl Spence, since you the second coming to Terrence Bud Crawford, why don't you call out Jamel and do to Jamel what Bud did to Spence? Don't wait till you get 38, 39 years old to do it. Oh, right. That would be what they call what? High risk, medium reward. No, that would make too much goddamn sense to me. Number 2, T.O. versus Shakur. That's big legacy. That's big legacy fight. I was skeptic. I was like, with T.O., you never know. You don't know what you're gonna get, man. I already said T.O. he was going through T.O. was having an identity crisis. But guess what? I think Shakur, to a certain extent, he was having an identity crisis. But guess what? When them two get in the ring, and I hope that neither one of them pull out, but when them two get in the ring, we're gonna know exactly who each one of them guys are once that fight is done. That's a fight that, regardless of the outcome, we need to tip our hat to both guys for actually making it happen finally. Why? Because this is actually going to show us who Shakur Stevenson really is. Because you can first of all, he's supposed to be at 140. That's supposed to be his weight class. It's supposed to. Second of all, T.O. can actually punch. I don't know if he had the same power when he was at 35, but T.O. can actually punch. He can actually thump. He hits harder than Zepeda. He don't hit as hard as De Los Santos, but he hit harder than Zepeda. And this is what T.O. needs. We need a fight like this because I know T.O. don't want to get embarrassed by Shakur, so he's going to turn up. And guess what? If Shakur is who he say is, he's going to embarrass the shit out of T.O. If T.O. is who he claims to be or who he has shown he can be, when the big bright lights show up, he's going to beat the shit out of Shakur. We don't know what verdict we're going to get. If I lean towards it, I would probably say we're going to get, we're going to have a fight. We're going to have a decent fight. We're going to have a decent fight, and it's going to have a couple pockets of action. Is it going to be the most entertaining fight in the world? I'm not sure. But it's a legacy fight. And the fact that we got a conclusion that this was actually done outside of Roy Jones, pretty much, this is what Roy said. This is another 50-50 fight. The great Roy Jones said this is a 50-50 fight. Don't listen to Mike. I say it's a 50-50 fight, but the great Roy Jones said it's 50-50 fight. Like I told you, whenever I have an opinion, I go find somebody else who I realize after me had that same opinion to justify mine. It's like writing a paper and then going to go find sources that you can cite that are second the notion that you have. Is it right? No, but it's what's called a supporting argument to my claim. I believe it's a 50-50 fight. Why? Because we know Shakur don't like to lose. And we know that T.O., he don't want to suffer the embarrassment of a dude coming up because there's a lot of pressure on T.O. Why? Because he avoided a unification. Richardson Hitchens beat up the man who beat him up for his undisputed. Richardson Hitchens stopped that dude to the body, got in the ring and called him out. T.O. got in the ring and asked the fans, is this what y'all want? And on that same night, Richardson Hitchens came out and said, fuck the Haneys. Then he announced that he was a free agent, which I think that was a slip of the tongue. He shouldn't have done that, because now they're using that as leverage. Everybody else can get played, but the dark-skinned brother. Oops, did I say that out loud? But supposedly he got something in the works and he's going to be getting it on in the beginning of the year. We'll find out. But this is a legacy fight with Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. And if we're going to let bygones be bygones, I think Teofimo Lopez figured out that his way of promoting and what he thought was going to be promoting and trying to spice things up was really just going to get him fucked up out here in these streets if he kept using that kind of language and offending the people that he really don't think and believe like that. That was just a dumbass marketing scheme and strategy, which turned a lot of people off and really put out a lot of energy for people that want to see him get fucked up. I know me, I actually used to want to see me, I actually wanted to weaponize some of these fighters against him. I did for a second. I was like, yeah, man, let Boots kick his ass. Then I said, nope, I'm gonna stick to my standards where I'm tired of having people move up. I'm tired of having people move up to fight Boots when he the biggest, baddest thing. Then I said, man, I want Gary Antoine. I wanted to weaponize Gary Antoine to whip his ass. And Gary Antoine was like, the T.O. was calling that man Tweezy, and they were friends. And Gary Antoine was like, nah, I don't really think T.O. like that. I grew up with him, and this, we got history, and that's my mans and them. I'm like, that's your mans and them. Well, holler at your mans and them. Then I said, you know what? I'm gonna get over it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be supporting him. I'm not gonna get out there and do no videos. You know, and he played around. He played the monkey shit with Bud. Bud came up to him, put his arm around him, and let him know. You know what I'm saying? I can reach out and touch you. And shit kind of simmered down. He tried him again, but he was nowhere in sight. He tried Bud again with that shit, but he was nowhere in sight. And so since then, he kind of cooled off with it. You know, he kind of rubbed a lot of people away. And as much as we want to as fans to weaponize some of these boxers, we really can't do it. And Shakur is not really the one that's really going to beat his ass. Like, no, not with some bad phalanges or some questionable phalanges. And you know what I'm saying, like moving up, not getting accustomed. I acclimated. I salute Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Shakur, like this is the kind of Shakur that, like, back when I called him the definition, and he was one of my guys, and I was out here doing videos for him. This is the kind of behavior that attracted me to Shakur and the energy that he had. This would be the first. Now, all that, I don't even listen to Shakur outside in the interviews and all that no more. When they say ding, 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 that's when I'm a Shakur fan now. So I'm up for this fight. And I used to be a huge Teofimo Lopez fan. It's just what I look like, supporting somebody using that language against my people. Especially when I was in the army and we worked with a little bit of everybody. All you seen was another soldier. Yeah, it was some people that had them kind of views and all that, but we knew who they was, and it was rare. And if it was there, it was closeted. I went in 98. So this is a legacy fight that nobody's talking about. What's up, Dev?
Hey, what's going on, body work?
What's happening?
Man, everything good, man. That was a good cook for sure. For sure, I wanted to touch on that T.O. and Shakur. I was talking to my little bro about that today. This is a legacy fight, and I don't think a lot of people understand that these two came up together. Just Shakur was at the lighter weights. But these guys, they were in the amateurs together, correct? I know T.O. went to the Olympics. Shakur and T.O. are part of that same class.
Yep.
So how do you think Shakur fights T.O.? You think we'll get a Zepeda performance or one of those Nakatilia De La Santos showings?
No, I don't think it's gonna be like De La Santos. But he's not gonna stand there. He's not gonna make himself vulnerable like he did with Zepeda. I really think he's gonna see Shakur is he's cerebral, man. And Shakur is one of them guys to where I almost guarantee that if the teacher gave a quiz before every test, he would get an A on the test because he needs that quiz. And I think that what he's going to do is he's going to go back. He's going to look at some things that Zarrillo was able to do. No, I'm sorry. He's going to look at some things that Sandor Martin was able to do. He's going to look at some things that Jermaine Ortiz was able to do. And he's going to practice that, and he's going to establish his principles, and he's going to stick to that. So I think it's going to look a little bit like how when Teofimo fought Jermaine Ortiz. Now the thing is, that's how I think he's going to fight more like how Jermaine Ortiz fought. The wild card is how is T.O. going to fight, because if T.O. hasn't grown since the Sandor Martin fight, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if Shakur got enough power. Well, we'll see. I don't know if he got enough power to drop him, but he definitely got enough power to embarrass him, because he's one of the most balanced fighters. Space, time, and distance. You give him space, time, and distance, Shakur murk you. You know what I'm saying? So it's really going to depend on how T.O. is going to fight. But that I think it's going to look more like how Jermaine Ortiz fought T.O., if that makes sense.
Okay.
Where he used his legs. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully T.O. ain't playing. Hopefully he ain't going in there like on some old, hey, this my guy, it's my friend. Hopefully he going there to not get embarrassed.
So this fight is actually going down now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm in the same position as you because we've been on this panel plenty of times, cooking the shit out of Shakur. Bro, you shut me up because if it gets across the line and we get the ring walk and everything, the weigh-ins, bro, salute to you. This is the Shakur I miss. This is the guy that with this move right here, you starting to make me feel like, yo, was that my man Shakur? I ain't seen homie in a minute.
Yeah.
That was Shakur right there. You feel what I'm saying? So salute to him for making a fight. And also, man, no bullshit and no disrespect. But since Josh Taylor, this is the T.O. I've been missing.
Yeah.
He from my borough. So there was always that little bit of, borough biasness when it was young T.O., when he was down at 35 and stuff like that with the New York fitted and the ups and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, these two guys, it's like, wow, East Coast is back. That classic rivalry here in Brooklyn is Brooklyn versus Jersey.
Yeah.
Which I don't think a lot of people really understand that. Don't understand the tri-state. Brooklyn and Jersey always been going at it since the days of the tunnel. From the clubs. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, yo, this is a great fight. The matchup is it's 50-50. And to go back to that point, what you were saying with Roy and how you get down, I do the same thing. People may be thinking I'm pulling certain things I say out my ass, but I'm hearing other prominent people say those things and co-sign it for me. Yeah, when I originally said, I'll say, yo, this is my conspiracy theory. Then when I hear somebody else say it, I'm like, oh shit, or allude to it, because they got to be nice about it because they got a job. That's part of their job. So for me, I'm like, okay, that's why I renamed my shit the Vindicated Villain. I may say some shit that's outrageous and crazy in the beginning, but eventually the majority, I would say like 75% of that shit winds up being vindicated. And I don't mind the percentage of me being wrong, because that's the fun about that's the fun about boxing. It's like trying to predict the stock market. You see two stocks that's on paper, they like, yo, I should make a ton of money off these shits. And then you get all of these people shorting it, then it don't make no money. That's just the way of life. So at the end of the day, that's where I stand on it, man. And salute to homie on the panel, bro.
That's Dev.
Oh,
Hey,
salute.
salute to you, AC. Salute to you. I agree, man. It's a legacy fight. Like, if Shakur wins, he'll be a 4-division champion, and he would have defeated a 2-time champion, 2-time lineal at that, right? There's only been 12 boxers in the history of the sport to win 4-division titles. Shakur's about to join that group if he can do that against T.O. I mean, that's
And see, Dev, this is the thing, man. I have people that subliminally argue with me. I have people that subliminally, like, tomorrow you're gonna have somebody come on and say Shakur ain't gonna be the man because then he gotta see Gary Antoine. I'm like, no, as it would stand with him getting in the ring. I'm like, and it's like, it's crazy you gotta argue this point. As it would stand, if he would have gone there and get his hand raised after getting in the ring 12 rounds with Teofimo Lopez, at that point in time, he would be the man at 140. Like, I'm not saying he'll be the toughest opponent, but he would be the man, because then that would be his 4th division. You know what I'm saying? He would be the 2-time lineal champ, and arguably T.O., he did what Devin did before Devin did it at 35. So they just don't give him the credit for it. But he went out and spiked Richard Comey for the IBF at that. Get into Loma's good, like to get on Loma's radar, because Loma was ignoring the shit out of both of them. He said, listen, I'm gonna go get something that Loma need. He got to go through me.
Right.
And had it not been for Loma dropping that belt and getting franchised, he would be recognized as the full, you know what I'm saying? He would be recognized as undisputed down there. They just don't do it, even though he beat him before Devin, like,
Yeah,
but You know what I'm saying? And he went up. He got Josh Taylor, even though Josh Taylor pretty much lost the Catterall, but he didn't get the Catterall didn't get the nod, but T.O. still peeled the paint off of him. And T.O. rises for the occasion of these guys. I think that the money was there. You know what I'm saying? I think people are not gonna talk about it, but T.O. has been happy. You know what I'm saying? He's been like rejuvenated, he's been like positive. And I think going into this is one of the times of recent where you don't have to worry about T.O.'s mindset going into a fight. You know, because when his mind ain't there, he don't fight that good. He gotta be he gotta be in a good mental state, be feeling good and all that. Going into a fight. So right now, you know, Shakur getting quiet, T.O. looking happy. This is a sneaky good fight. And I'm like, for all these legacy driven and all this other shit, like nobody's talking about it like they should be. They want to still talk about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and who's ducking who with the Boots and Virgil shit. So,
yeah, man, for sure.
But basically, that's why, you know, for me, I've always said that Loma robbed T.O. of his undisputed fight when you went after that franchise bullshit. Because on paper, T.O. would have been undisputed after he beat you. You feel what I'm saying? And then there would have been a line of undisputed and stuff like that. But I was going to ask the question, this will be Shakur's first or second lineal. I'm not sure, and I haven't actually researched it. Fighting T.O. If he beats T.O., will I be his first or second lineal? Because I know he got Fight of the Year. And I don't remember if him versus
I think so. Valdez.
Yeah, the Valdez fight. Wasn't the Valdez fight for lineal?
Somebody said he was. I didn't look it up on Shakur,
Yeah, me
but
neither.
either Herring or Valdez, one of them. Somebody was counting him as being lineal before. I don't know who they gave it to for him, but it would have to been what Valdez. I don't know. It's something we got to research.
All right, I'll tell you in 1 second. Yes, Shakur is the lineal champion. Having held the lineal championship at super featherweight. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it was at one.
Yeah, it had to have been the Valdez then.
Yeah. So if he beats him, he'll be a 2-division lineal champion. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I think if T.O. beats Shakur, that'll be the second 3-division champion he would have beat. Lomachenko was a 3-division champion.
Yeah.
Shakur's a 3-division champion. So that's 2 3-division champions on T.O.'s resume right there.
T.O., his resume, man, regardless of what people think about him, man, I got to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it a buck, man. T.O. got a resume, man. I mean, with the blemish of Cambosis, he got that blemish of Cambosis, which is, you know, I wish he would have went ahead and doubled back and ultimately got that, but that's the blemish. That's the big blemish. Outside of that, he's been moving the way he needed to move, and I'm glad they finally made him whole as far as the money. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's not really none of my business, and I'm not making excuses because he did shoot himself in the foot a little bit. He did kick against the pricks. He did go against Bob, and Bob had to spank him, and that was just something he had to endure. But I mean, for what he's done, man, boxers need to be compensated. I talked about the G-Man. Last week I was looking at some of the G-Man and you know what happened in his demise, and then I see something here earlier today with Frito Benitez, and I'm like, see, this is why these boxers got to get paid. This is why. And I seen T.O. say something earlier, and I didn't really agree with it, but I agree with the part where he said boxers need health care. He was talking about the repeal of the Muhammad Ali Act. He was like, man, maybe I would consider, or maybe we need to if it came with health care. I'm like, I don't know about repealing nothing, but boxers do need health care. I think that they should have been done up with something to where a certain amount of the money for proceeds, you know, depending on how long you've been boxing or what happened, like it's a slush fund or something for their healthcare or something, man. Something got to be. It's we too creative,
Bro.
and it's too much money flowing through boxing for a boxer not to have healthcare. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad that when you can make one blunder outside of boxing, and you can make you have one slip of the tongue in an interview or say something online, and everything you've done in your career can be negated, and you go back out there, get hit in the head, and now you don't have nothing when you entertain so many people, but go ahead, AC.
No, I was gonna say, bro, just speaking of the health insurance, and where offline things that we've been talking about as far as forming some sort of nonprofit. I think if somebody formed a nonprofit that had the ability to donate, then you could possibly get between all the true extra wealthy millionaire and billionaire fans of boxing. They might contribute to that fund, as long as it's the right type of 501c3 that allows them to use that donation as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because I just don't think the industry is going to get there, because I don't think no sports entertainer, or even in dealing with the Actors Guild, no entertainer across the board has any guarantees on health insurance. It's not something that's baked in a contract, because you're a freelance, you're a freelancer, you're an independent contractor. You make your money when the venue makes money or the show makes money. So there has to be something that says, okay, so if we could fit it in this category, and we could start this and say, you know what, it's dealing with the health sector, and we're going to try to look at the systemic and long-term brain damage of combat sports, or any sort of sports, the physical, whatever. I think at the end of the day, bro, it might be retarded amounts of money in the forms of donations and shit like that, and maybe even grants that could possibly get a lot of that shit going for the fighters. But somebody has to investigate it and research it that has that level of commitment and love for the sport.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if I get a couple contracts, if I could free up some more of my time, I definitely would look into some of this other stuff. I'm just trying to, like, it's my first year off of the plantation. I'm staying afloat. I'm doing a little bit better than breaking even, and I look at every year to kind of like allow myself to be able to do less and less. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something I would look onto as I get more free time, like to try to figure it out. I'm sure it's a creative way, and I'm sure I might run into what somebody else already ran into, whereas they tried to go down that path, and that might be one of them things that they leverage these boxers on, man. Like, I think sometimes, because you gotta think about it, if it's not there, it's probably because somebody don't want it there right now.
For this long, for how long boxing and sports entertainment and just entertainment been around, of humans entertaining humans, there's got to be a reason why they do that. And they say, listen, if you get this, then we could effectively pay you less money, because the reason why we were paying you more money was to help cover those medical costs, just in case something bad would happen to you. And you like, what? When the fuck is $100,000 gonna work for brain damage? You feel what I'm saying? When is $800,000 gonna work for brain damage?
And I know, and I used to sell health insurance. I was licensed in it when I was in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
But it's really the underwriting, man. They'd be like, oh no, they'll be looking at it worse than somebody who skydive and ride motorcycles, or have a pool in your backyard. Like, those things are like, they like, fuck no, we ain't touching it. You box, you go out there and you do pugilism, fuck no. That's just a stark reality. You know what I'm saying? So somebody probably did go down that path. I think that what they're doing with this other Zufin, and what I think they're doing, is they kind of like that's probably like a front runner in the package of what they're saying. That's probably one of the first things they lead off with in the packet as far as what you're getting. Don't look at the money, just know that if anything happened to you, you're gonna be, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So that's probably what they're doing, you know what I'm saying, which is probably attractive. It's a little attractive, you know, but the money side, like their compensation is going, it's almost like having a union job where you could, you know what I'm saying, get knocked into a coma, but you ain't gonna be able to even take care of yourself. You still gonna have to do something else if something were to happen to you for the amount of bucks they're gonna give you for those kind of fights that they're gonna be putting on. But that's just shoot. We already started cooking. That was just really part of the housekeeping, man. Salute. What's up, Boom?
Yo, what's good to the panel? What's good? Body work, boxing, man. I'm back, man. Salute to everybody. AC, Dev, Body. What's good, man? We here.
Salute, man. Salute.
What y'all think about the other part of the housekeeping? Oh, the last thing I was gonna say, so we can just open it up and cook all the way. It's the last thing I'm gonna say, man. When it come down to this number 3, be yourself and carve out your own lane, man. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna do my best to even stop talking about it, man. Like, listen, man, develop your own content. Like, get in your own timeline. Develop your own material. Have whatever it is that you do just for you. Because there's a lot of people acting like they are virtuous and they do everything right and exact or whatever, but y'all are stealing and y'all getting paid for it. Like, that's the only reason why I keep bringing it up. But how you getting paid for some shit that wasn't yours? Like, develop your own shit. Like, and then it's starting to become real funny how all of a sudden it's a nigga that went live. Like, I went live at 9:15. This nigga went live at 9:16. So not only has the nigga he been stealing my thumbnails, copying my thumbnails, but now you're going live at the same exact time. Like, come on, dog. Like, you gotta be a bad motherfucker in order for people to start doing it. Like, people, I take it there. I looked yesterday because I'm gonna go live. I was gonna go live yesterday. I said no, because sometimes I do these little experiments. I said no, I ain't gonna do it. I look up today and like 15 minutes, 20 minutes before I go on, everybody going like, come on, bro. Have your own shit. Like, that's what makes you you. Because I know I can't even fuck with you if you're doing that. I can't fuck with you, man. If you're not being authentic, if you're not coming with your own shit, if you're not like carving out your own lane, I can't fuck with you. I'm not going to even endorse it. Like, it's getting crazy. Like, come up with your own shit. You have something special that's unique to you. Do that, and people gonna fuck with you. I would. You know, it's becoming real. It's gaslighting at its finest, especially when I see and hear people like the next day or the day after, they be saying all the shit AC said. They be saying shit that I said. Like, people that be on the panel, they be saying. It's like, come on, y'all. At least donate to the channel. I got a Cash App. We got Super Chat too. But it'd be real crazy when I see people sitting up here getting paid for that shit that it's ironic that we saying the same things. It's just we say it a day or two before you be saying it. Like, cough up some of that bread, support. Don't just be stealing, talking about, oh yeah, because I keep it real. I do this. Like, no, you keep it copycat. Be yourself.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that point, you got new content creators coming out almost on a regular. And it seems to be more and more content creators coming out in the boxing space. And you got these AI slop channels. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that irritates me is, all right, you spoke on it. And I've seen new content creators, even ones that I know, come out and do exactly what you said. They went to a major channel, listen to their live or listen to a couple of their lives, and then decided, I'm going to do a show on this. I'm going to read me an article that kind of like will give me 2 different ways to say the thing that I heard this person say, and I'm going to make content on it. And then immediately I'm just going to have an open panel, and you listening to everybody on that panel, and you like, wow. So all you dudes must have been born from the same piece of pussy because all y'all dudes talking the same shit. Like, bruh, since when y'all family like that? Like, god damn, bro.
And I was fucking with a couple of them, AC. I was trying to fuck with a couple of them, but I'm like, man, I can't fuck with you. Like, how I'm gonna support you? You know what I'm saying, with what you doing? Like, I started to, I used to fuck with a couple of them. Now it's starting to just become more and more. And it's like, if you're part of the in crowd, the crowd that move around from channel to channel, then yeah, they'll come by and support. But it's like, come on, bro.
I definitely understand, because it's boxers out here that I'll do something on like a bag or something, and the next thing you know, they posting themselves doing the same shit I was just doing. So that's why it's been a minute since I posted my own work or what I've been doing in the gym, because motherfuckers will just copy me and copy and paste. You know, this shit's sad. Shit's sad.
But Dev dropped out.
Hold on.
Damn, both of y'all dropped out.
Internet connections, bro. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that, just be you, man. I know if I'm gonna support you, man, and I see you, like, people's, it's just weird, because this been going on since I've been on, since I really pretty much since I've been on here, man. Like, the bigger channels, they've been pilfering shit, taking shit, just doing whatever the hell they want to do, and because they got the numbers. Like the dude I said went live at 9:16, he talking about Clarissa suing him. But you go live right at the 9:50. Like, I must be a bad motherfucker, man. I must be doing some real body work, man. But I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna stop talking about it. But let's get into the.
Hey, throw some jabs, nah.
Yeah, let's go over some things, man. First, let me briefly touch on this. Devatron. He's cherry picking again, ain't he, AC?
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, according to all the Devin Haney fans, I mean, this is an absolute cherry pick, because you can't explain Brian Norman's style. His resume is trash. When you look at how you go through it, and he's got these Mexican fighters, and then you get a guy that's 17-2, then you say, oh well, that was too much competition, even though he knocked him out. And then you say you got to drop him down to a guy that's, 6-5. But Dev's early career looks exactly the same. That's why I was like, wow, okay. So then at the end of the day, let me ask you this question. Since you're going through a joint and you're making all of those definitive statements, then this is a cherry pick for Dev, hands down. You ain't going to tell me it isn't.
And that was a checkmate, because I'm like, it's so funny, because this is one of them dudes, this is one of them cats that come out and do the anti. Like, he did it last week, right? He did it last week when I was like, basically said the lab test was confirmed that when I did week before last, when I did the timeline on the whole Boots Norman thing, and it was airtight. The man came out and was just like, nope, they lied. The Normans never really wanted it. I did my research. So then I'm like, what was you doing before? You were just shooting from the hip before? You wasn't doing your research before? It's like, y'all don't understand how fucking dumb y'all are when y'all get out online and y'all express yourselves in this manner. And Devin, this is why I say, man, this is fucking Wilder 2.0. Now, I think Devin has a diverse set of skills. I think he has a diverse level set of skills, and Wilder was subject to just having that equalizer and the ability to deliver it. Don't get me wrong, the ability to deliver that equalizer, but he did have a fucking equalizer. He had the ultimate eraser. He had an atomic bomb of a right hand. I do think that skill-wise, I think that Devin has more skills, but this is Wilder 2.0 when it comes to this community, this LDBC. That's why when a mascot come out and they say the dumbest shit, like come out and just shitting all over this man, Brian Norman's resume, and saying he ain't shit, and then going over his style and all these bad habits, basically, like AC said. So Devin is basically cherry picking. And then you hear nothing. You hear Mouse pissing on cotton. Like when you say that, there ain't no responses. Oh, give this cocksucker 60,000 seconds or whatever it be. It's like, yeah, because you're done, you're cooked, like, and you got that planetarium where people sit by or whatever, and you almost like just should allow Hannibal Lecter to just skim your shit off the top and let some crows come in and just sit there and eat on your brain, because I don't know what they be doing. I don't know how people sit around there anesthetized and just listen to you say that dumb shit you be saying. So it doesn't, listen, y'all, you got to take a page from Shakur in this. When Shakur fights somebody, I don't care if it was the electrician. Shakur says, nah, man, he's good. Like, no, he was good. No, he hit hard as shit. Like, no, he does. Now, he does a lot of that afterwards.
Yeah.
He does a lot of that in hindsight. But I'm going to leave with this example. When Stephen Fulton was going to go fight Noya anyway, all them cats up there in Philly, not crushing them, I'm talking about the camp, all them cats up there was saying that Noya anyway was a hype job. And I said, what's good? What you gonna look like? What are you gonna look like when he stop your ass or knock you the fuck out? They gonna say you got knocked out by a fucking hype job. Stop doing that, y'all.
Yeah.
And Devin, he has this thing to where, like, because you seen it on that documentary, and I said, you know, like, didn't nobody need to do a whole Exodus files for people to recognize what Devin and them has been doing all of this time. But when that came out, they did it. They went by and with a fine-tooth comb. It's almost like taking them videos that I did, like taking all them videos I did, picking out like 3 key points from each one of them, and then putting illustration to it, and then condensing it down to like 60 minutes. That's what they really did.
Yeah.
So every time you would hear him say, you too small, you this, you that, you too small, you too weak, you this, and that. And over time, it didn't make him look good in the long run. Why? Because you realize how big he was fighting all these smaller guys. And you don't get no credit for it when you discredit your opponent. Now I can see talking shit straight up to your opponent, but when he came out and said, oh man, this guy's a bum, you lost some people. It was a guy that used to, like, he come to this channel, he used to really rock with you. He don't even rock with you no more, he said, because you done lost yourself. I'm like, now when your diehards start dropping off like that because you saying and moving and doing dumb things, like you're past going the wrong way. Give Brian Norman the respect he deserved, because when he knocked your ass out, you and your mascot, that knee pad wearing, throat coat spraying, tonsil jewelry displaying, like gutter ass, trash can dwelling ass nigga over there, y'all gonna look dumb. Yep. And guess what? If you eating out of a straw, or if he peel your muffin cap back, Jack, he ain't gonna have a pot for you to piss in or a roof for you to stay under. Like, don't stop listening to this dude. Like, this dude is terribly rubbing off on y'all. He's rubbing off on you. He's rubbing off on Bill. And he's already rubbing off online with all these dumbass things that they be saying online. Stop listening to this dude. Give your opponent respect. You don't gotta, like, rub his nuts, but respect him.
See, Brian Norman did it the best. He said, listen, after Devin said all of that nonsense, he was like, look, my job right now is to be a professional, to conduct myself as a professional, and make sure we get in the ring. Dev, you should have shut the fuck up and looked at that nigga like, oh my God, he about to fuck me up. Because when somebody tells you something like that, no matter what Brian Norman's answers were, every one of those answers was based on, I understand the assignment in front of me. And that's my new word for this fight. Or my 2 new words, or many words. Understanding the assignment. You feel what I'm saying? And for me, I think people got Brian Norman a nickname. For me, my nickname for him is the assignment.
Yeah. But once again, man, Big Bad Devatron, man, he's cherry picking again, according to butt fuck tuberculosis. You know what I'm saying? He's cherry picking, man. Brian Norman, he don't deserve to carry Devin's jock strap. He ain't did shit. His resume ain't shit. I'm like, well, damn, why Devin ain't fighting? Why Devin just don't skip 147 and go to the weight class where he's supposed to be at 154? Boots need an opponent. But no, y'all conveniently waited. They conveniently waited till Boots moved up out of there, because I swear I ain't hear shit about no Devin coming to no welterweight until I heard Boots was leaving. And I called it out well before. I said, man, they are never going to share the same weight class. God,
So
man.
I said it like this. So you saying that they propped him up for Santillan to beat him. Okay. So they propped him up again after Santillan, but now Devin. So if Top Rank is behind a prop up, what's the deal with Devin Haney? So again, you saying things that keep making people say, and those who follow those content creators, and then come on a platform where, you know, I'm a Devin Haney fan. Right now, I'm against Devin Haney because, again, he hasn't shown me in, let's say, after the Ryan Garcia thing, the year layoff and everything else, you haven't shown me you have that mindset that's going to go in there and handle that assignment. Because that's homework you weren't in class for. There is no way you're going to look at it. And that's that type of homework that your daddy look at it and say, you know what, the math y'all got these days is different than the math that I had when I was growing up. So at the end of the day, for me, bro, yeah, that's who you're going to have to be. There's nobody else in the world that you're going to have to be but that guy right there.
Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to touch on it. I thought that was funny as shit. Like they don't be realizing, man, like the dumbass shit. Like when he said, "Oh, I've done my research and all this time," like they really didn't want to. I'm like, so what the fuck was you coming out here? So you was doing 6 and 7 hour lives, 3 and 4 and 5 hour lives, and you didn't do no research. So how you do your research now to come to that conclusion? Like it's just like coming out saying that now, like with the Shakur shit and how, you know, Eddie been the bodyguard for Andy Cruz from Shakur. I'm like, we're gonna come out in about 3 weeks to a month to 2 months. We're gonna come out and we're gonna hear, oh yeah, I done some further research, and now I realize that I gotta quantify. I forgot to carry the 2. What the fuck?
Yo.
Y'all can hear real quick. I just wanted to say this because I wanted to say this, bro. If we was in the studio doing this show, I would have all the props. Because for what we just said, I would have went back to the Shotters prop. You feel what I'm saying? Where the dude was like, "Take the money and left the weed. Take the what and left the leave the
what?" Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you crispy.
Man, finally. All right, man. Sorry I kept leaving and joining and jumping on and no Diddy, you know, on and off and shit. But yo, I'm here. Yo, check it out, man. Devatron. That's funny. That's funny. Got a little ring to it. But man, this fight is so interesting. It's like a back and forth battle, you know. But oh no. Brian Norman, he's convincing right now with his words, but now he got to do it with his hands, you know. I'm looking forward to a good fight with these guys, man. I do think Dev should fight at 47 right now. He did come from 135. He has been fighting at 35 for a while. I do get that a lot of people say he should be at 154. I just think that fight at 47 if you know what's best for you, you know. I just don't want to see Dev get punched by Bakram. You know, if Ryan punched you and you feel like that, what you think Bakram gonna do? You know what I mean? And I don't know how you and Boots will go. I just don't think you're ready for Boots either. I think Boots comes with a lot of IQ and talent. I don't think Boots fights you how he fights these other guys. I think we see a different side of Boots.
But let me ask you something since you brought him up, because that was in the housekeeping. Nobody jumped on that. Like, I'm thinking, man, instead of bickering online with about Virgil and who the A side and having a meat measuring contest, why don't Boots just fight Jamel?
I think that's smart. I like that. But I do think that Jamel needs to fight somebody before he just fights Boots, because then we'll see Jamel take a back-to-back loss.
Bro,
he already lost to Harrison, and then losing to Canelo, and then you lose again to Boots. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna look bad.
Bro, I'm gonna say it like this. I brought that up, you know, when we were having discussions of possible people for Boots to fight at 54. With the exception of, I think it's you, Pop, maybe D-Free and Crush. Everybody else was giving me reasons why, oh, Mel been out for this long and Mel is this, and I'm like, who, at the end of the day, who did it from the mud in that division? Who's the best talent who's still saying I'm not done? Yeah, but Mel need to add, he need to do, and it's just like, okay, at this point, I'm done trying to let people know that Boots versus Mel is a crazy fight. You feel what I'm saying?
Boots? You meant Boots?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you said me, nigga.
You know, so basically, I've been in love with that fight for a minute.
Right. I like it. I do. Stylistically, I like it. I agree with y'all. I do.
But Mel said, if Mel don't want no tune-up, I mean, he got to get it how he live. That'll be his fault. He get his ass in there, and he don't. If he really need a tune-up, and he get his ass in there.
So you said, look, listen to me though. So you said you ain't seen him since when? We ain't seen him fight since when?
Since he fought Canelo.
And when was that?
The year before last.
So 2023, right?
Yeah, it was late 2023.
And it's 2025, and he ain't fought nobody since. So jump in there with Boots makes sense. Right now, jump in that fire like that right now. That makes sense.
Hey. He grown, man. Mel know what he doing.
Body like fuck it.
That's my guy, man. I mean, shit, that's my guy. Like, if he wanna do that and he decide to do that, I mean, we can't make no excuses for him.
Are you? But what's gonna be the words after he lose? Like, if he
but my question to you, Boom, is, and this was a question that I've always asked when I was on different panels, and I'm bringing this up. For you guys to say he needs a tune-up, what has Boots done that makes you so sure that an accomplished mud fighter like Maul actually needs a tune-up? Is it ring rust, or are you telling me it's skill? Because ring rust can be overaccomplished with a training camp that's more on the sparring side.
Nah, it's more of you not going. You showed a lot of the fans and a lot of people that when them lights is on and it's bright, you back and you fighting backwards. You're not really showing that grit. You're not really showing that hunger for the shit. Like, you get what I'm saying, AC? Like, it's just
I can't let that slide, Boom. You know why? Because that was at 68. He shit the bed at 68. He was the kind of guy that said, "Look, what, you know what? I was out of my element up there. I ain't belong up there at 68. But 54 is mine." He got undisputed at 54. So that's where Boots is at. He at 54. So I mean, I swear if this was Al Jury or Van Heerden or one of them, because he did it at welterweight.
He lost to Harrison, bro.
Harrison is a good boxer. What are you talking about?
Oh my god!
You go back. Have you seen Tony Harrison's resume?
Yes, Tony Harrison is a damn good fighter, but he's not that good, dude. Like he's not one of those guys we gonna be talking about later down the road, bro. Stop playing. We not about to mention Tony Harrison. We not.
Tony Harrison could box though, man. That man could
He
box.
could box, but we not about to mention Tony Harrison in the next 10 to 15 years. We gonna talk about Charlo, Canelo, Crawford in the ways. We gonna talk about Gervonta, Shakur's. You feel me? Tony fucking Harrison is not gonna be brought up. That nigga, hey, listen, that's like bringing up old boy that just got locked up for the little cocaine with the white dude trying to take all the charges for him.
But that's not right and exact, boom, because you got to think about it like this. Well, how did when it come down to Errol Spence, who did he fight to collect the 3 straps?
The guys that everybody was saying was oh so good and they wasn't washed up, and it was Kell Brooks, and he fought Kell Brooks, he fought Sean Porter, he fought Yordanis Ugas, he fought.
Stop right there. So we're gonna talk about him, and people who know their history and go look it up, they're gonna talk about him. Why? Because they got to go back and watch that fight. When Jermell Charlo got undisputed, who did he get his belts from? One of them was who?
Brian Castano.
Mm-hmm.
It was another guy, I forget his name, but I'm trying to think. When he collected the straps, man, I'm trying to think.
Jason Rosario.
Yes, Jason Rosario.
So maybe so let me tell you this. Let me put it like this. For people who are historians or
Tony
people
Harrison.
who really...
Tony Harrison.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So they are going to have to talk about him, like not as one of the premier guys, but it's just like saying ain't nobody going to talk about Sean Porter. Well, Sean Porter, that's the one who him and Kell Brook fought, him and Errol Spence fought, and they both fought for titles. So I mean, we can't say that as boxing purists. You could say it. I'm not going to say stuff like that because they gotta be brought up, because when you're on a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're on a journey, you got to talk about who these guys
are. When you're on a journey, oh, you dead wrong.
What? To undisputed? What are you talking about? Like who did Bud fight to get undisputed? He fought Canelo. Okay, so at 47, who did he fight to get undisputed? He fought Jeff Horn and he fought Errol Spence. People are gonna have to talk about Jeff Horn and they're gonna have to talk about Errol Spence. That's the journey.
Kell Brook, Sean Porter.
No, I'm talking about when he got undisputed. You got to talk about who he got the belts off of. He got them from who? Jeff Horn. Who got his belt from who? Manny Pacquiao. He also got a belt from who? Errol Spence. Who got all 3 of them belts from who? Yordanis Ugas, Sean Porter, and Kell Brooks. So you got to talk about that's the journey to undisputed. So you got to talk about these guys. This is what I'm saying. So Tony Harrison is a chapter in the undisputed of 54. That's the relevancy of Jermell Charlo. You see what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to go on the journey. When you go collect your belt, like
I'm just trolling them, but yeah, I know.
When Shakur jump up, he gonna fight T.O. That's gonna be one of the straps. So if he stay there, he gonna have to fight who? Subriel Batiz, Gary Antoine, Richardson Hitchens. That's gonna be part of his journey. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the historians are gonna have to. You're gonna have to go over that and know these guys. Like when you talk about it, or boxing gonna die. Like whoever they're gonna be. Like what are people gonna talk about? Like they're gonna have to go back and watch the fight and be like, who is this guy? Oh, that's just a guy that he got a belt off of. Like no, who the fuck was he? Oh, that's Richardson Hitchens. Well, who was he? Oh, he got his belt from Liam Paro. Oh, okay, well, where did Liam Paro come from? Oh, Liam Paro beat the boogeyman Subriel Batiz. That's how this shit work. Like, that's how I think anyway. Like, that's why I know my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it'll be who.
I ain't saying you don't know nothing, man. I'm just saying, like, I'm not respecting what Harrison did. No, and it's not going. Nothing can convince me that Harrison is a good fighter. Niggas ain't talking about no damn Tony Harrison, bro. And that's just some real shit with you, bro. Like,
Well, yeah, I
get
mean,
what
not like that. Like I said, not like that. Like people don't talk about Sean Porter like that. But when you talk about Sean Porter, I mean, you know, people. I heard
People
somebody
gon-
try to disrespect AB
people
the other
gonna
day.
talk about, but listen, people gonna talk about Sean Porter more than they gonna talk about Harrison.
Yeah, but
a
that's
fact.
like,
Yeah, that's a fact.
but listen though, that's almost
Okay,
like
then,
being.
so how can we say? How can you sit here and put Tony Harrison on such a high pedestal?
I'm not
How?
putting him on a high pedestal.
But you saying that he's so good and that he fought Charlo and whoop-de-woo this and whoop-de-woo that. He didn't beat him back. You know what I mean?
I did not. I did not.
But that's
say
what it
that.
sound like. But that's what it sound like because you said that niggas.
I said he was a good boxer, but you got to talk about him because the guy he was one of the guys that the guy who got the last guy at 54 to get undisputed. He was one of the guys he fought for a belt. That's a significant fight. It's just like Castaño. Ain't nobody ever gonna talk about Castaño again. But guess what? Castaño put hands and feet on Lara. Guess what Lara about to do? Lara getting ready to fight Janabek. Like this is like that's boxing history. So I'm not putting nobody on the pedestal. I'm talking about history. When you go on a journey and you collect belts, if you don't just fight one person and get them all, you got to talk about the people who people fought when they got them.
But how many belts did Harrison get, bro?
He had one belt.
All right.
So you just say, all right. So whoever you,
I'm not talking accolades. I'm just asking you.
We're gonna move on because you're getting stuck. You stuck on a point that you don't understand what I'm saying.
But I'm not asking you accolades. I'm not asking you accolades. I'm asking you real shit because I don't know nothing about Tony Harrison. I just don't think he's a good fighter. I was asking you a dead serious question.
Okay, well, you don't think he's good? Cool. I mean, I ain't say he was the best thing since sliced bread, but I mean, I said that he's part of the journey of Jermel's journey.
For sure, he is. For sure,
okay.
I agree with you. That
was my only real point for real. He got relevancy because he had a belt. Like that's all. Like just like the dude who did Xander fight to get his belt? Chino
he had
Perez.
like a Cambosos moment.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's all I was really saying. Bottom line is, hey, his twin, salute body work, salute his twin. But yeah, I brought him up because I think that I think Boots should go. I think Boots should fight Mel. If Mel don't need no tune up, if he ain't talking about no tune up, and all of the champions are busy, and Virgil he acting like he don't want to fight. I mean, don't lead us around YouTube by the nose and have us arguing for the next 3-4 months when you got work out there that you could take care of. Put that old lion out of his misery.
So don't fight Virgil, just fight Charlo?
No, I'm saying don't have us sitting around arguing for 3 months knowing that like I said before the fight, that Virgil Ortiz ain't gonna fight you next. Like we said this already. But that's not stopping YouTube from talking about this shit all day, every day.
But you know what? You might be right because I think that Earl Spence is going there, man.
He might, but they came out and they already
that fight going to happen.
They you know what fight?
But you know what fight I think gonna happen, right? Realistically.
What
don't say it. But you think about who name I just said.
Yeah, I know. That's what they were saying. Like that.
Yeah. Like
I said this before the fight. That's always been in their back pocket. Like it's these dumbass people on YouTube acting like that wasn't always a play. That always been a play. That's always been a play.
I figured because what he gonna do is he gonna take that interim belt and he gonna go fight. Oh boy, that got the real belt. He gonna get that fight like he said he was back in 2023 when he walked up in that ring with old boy like that, or in 2024 whenever he was iced out like that. He not playing, man.
Yeah, to get real talk about Honeybee, salute Honeybee. But
that's funny, dude.
But I'm saying like this is what I be trying to say, man, because it's cool to go around to these channels that want to talk about that dumb shit all the time, but it's like it ain't gonna do nothing but give you high blood pressure. Why? Because this has already been coming down the pike. This is business. Like somebody was going, listen, one of them guys, it's two guys down there really in Texas, right? It's two big names. Earl, he just ain't been fighting, right? He do need a tune-up. He need to come back. He need a tune-up. Earl don't do tune-ups. He hard-headed. But he always had Jerry World in his back pocket. And Virgil Ortiz always had Jury World in his back pocket. That fight was already been gonna happen. Like, and if you look at it, like if you don't look at it from a fan perspective, you look at it from like you put yourself into Virgil in them shoes.
But look, Earl don't need no tune up to fight Virgil.
But for Virgil and them, they looking at it like, oh man, this guy, he's less risk. Because they already seen with Bud, even though he might not be able to do what Bud was able to do. Man, that's just gonna be like a Mexican standoff.
Oh no, what's going on?
But so for Virgil, that's looking like less risk, and it's looking like a big ass bag. That's what it looked like for Virgil. That's why I kept asking people before the fight, before the Lubin fight. I said, do y'all really think that Oscar is really going to allow Virgil to get obliterated before he even smell a belt with Fundora? Before he even he's right there. He got the interim. All he got to do is stay right there. They looking at Earl like he might be easy work right now. That's just how they looking at him. You feel me, AC?
Yeah.
That's just business. They looking at this man like he might be easy work. We don't know what Earl is, but they looking like, man, they looking at it like low risk, high reward. So who's not taking a low risk, high reward fight right now? So for all the dummies that's gonna try to say, oh, listen to them, they making all kind of excuses. Ain't nobody making no goddamn excuses for Virgil. It's just, I think it's dumb as hell to sit around for the next month talking about a fight that we ain't gonna get next. And I told y'all we wasn't gonna get it next before the fight. Like, it's dumb as hell to sit around and just, oh, he a duck. Yeah, it was duck behavior that Virgil just did. Yeah, plenty of content. People cook. People got super chats. People got paid. Okay, cool. Now what? Because all the legacy fights, ain't nobody talking about Benavidez and Yard. Ain't nobody talking about Cool Boy and Foster. Ain't nobody talking about Bam
or Abdullah
Martinez. They talking about Brian Norman and Devin Haney. And that's it. They even talking about how Virgil Ortiz is a duck, or they talking about Norman and Haney. Ain't nobody even being thorough with all these good ass fights we got coming up. So people can be out here just wasting their brain cells calling Virgil a duck for the next month. That shit ain't gonna get us no fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna talk about this shit till January, until Fundora fight Keith Thurman. I mean, we got one more after come Saturday, we got a week. We gonna be a week out, and then that's gonna be on fire for all of them fights. The people going back in and backload. All the people who've been taking all their notes, listening to everybody's lives, they're gonna come out with all this hot shit next week, right before the fight. But ain't nobody keeping a firm, steady, like, diet of, a round robin on all these fights. Ain't nobody talking about Lara. No. Ain't nobody talking about Lara and Jana Beck. Like, they not. But everybody legacy and everybody care about boxing. Let me get on to the main topic, man.
Yeah, bro, because I was about to. I just wanted to Google some stuff just to make sure. Nothing. I haven't seen any crazy updates as of late.
I got a comment thread. This is what I want to get into. I had to put my Inspector Gadget hat on, man, and look at this, man. Like, the more and more I look at this, Jake Paul, it's my opinion that Jake Paul set Gervonta Tank Davis up. Because it's looking very, very, very suspicious. One, they announced the fight. It had a hangover because everybody in one breath and one side, before he announced this fight, everybody was on Jake Paul meat. Not me, but everybody was like, oh, Jake Paul, and what he do for women's boxing, and he's so good for the sport, and he blah 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 and this and that. Now we recognize the fact that he was going to be a great promoter, and I was already looking and saying, yeah, he's going to be an excellent promoter. Like when he's, I just don't get down with novelty boxing because you already see, we just seen an example of the impact that novelty boxing has on the sport of boxing, the pure sport of boxing. Like, yes, he can bring a lot of eyeballs, but with his shenanigans and what he do, he just put a big ass dent in the sport. You know what I'm saying? With this bullshit, calling it off with Tank, which is like the pride and joy in the boxing world, pretty much the face of American boxing. You know, all of a sudden he's out. All of a sudden it's these weird ass allegations come out, and it's straight to civil. Ain't no criminal. The man ain't locked up. He's saying he's seen video. Ain't no video. It's supposed to be happening in the largest strip club in the country. And don't nobody seen shit, don't nobody know shit. The police, and it's in Miami where they don't play. It's in Miami. Like, they don't play about that shit. They'll put, man, you get caught jaywalking down there, they're gonna try to lock your ass up for 3 years. They don't play. So it looked mighty fishy to me. Mighty fishy to me that all of a sudden Tank get brought up on these charges. Jake Paul, the very first, I go back to that first press conference, the first thing Jake Paul said, man, this woman beating this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, so why? I said, see, this is exactly why I don't fuck with Jake Paul. Because you're going to fight him, but that's your first talking point, that he's a woman beater. Like, you don't have no past with nothing to do with no women now. I don't like doing this because it's getting off in your personal life. I don't really like talking about this shit. I try to keep it all boxing. But this Tank is my guy, so I was looking at it like, hold on, man, what this don't smell right. This ain't right. And then guess what happened? I did some research, and because I've been hearing this term. It's almost like, you know how in a certain industry, how they be saying, you want to order a pizza, or what you want on your pizza, or you know how they talk about pizza and it coincide with something else. Yeah, it's like it be these buzzwords whenever it come down to like these different gates, like Watergate, like when let's say Watergate, right? And Spygate, like when the Patriots was caught spying on the Eagles, and they was supposedly they knew their playbook because they were spying, they got caught spying, so that was called Spygate, right? So it's one here. This is one that I'm coming up with right now. This is called Fumblegate, because I found it odd that every single solitary person that comes up whenever they ultimately ask the question about this, especially coming from the people that's interviewing anybody that will give their opinion on it, boxer, trainer, promoter, blah, blah, blah. Anybody that's going to give their little, impart their little whatever, their little piece on their situation, they all have been coming out talking about Tank fumbled the bag. And I'm like, why do they keep saying that? And the kicker, the icing on the cake for me and what sealed the deal was when I heard Brian Custer's interview with O'Shaquie Foster. And he asked O'Shaquie Foster, he's like, yeah, so with this whole, what do you think about this whole Tank and Jake Paul and how Tank fumbled the bag? I said, not you too, Custer. Not you too, Brian. Not the guy that I was like, man, like I lost. I was like, man, I even commented under my real name. I didn't do body work. I commented under Michael Rye. I said, man, I'm disappointed in you, Brian Custer. Like, why the fuck did you say fumbled the bag? Like, why? And that's how you know it's an agenda. Because all of these people who say it, white, black, whatever, like, people don't say that. They don't just come up with these terminology. This was a talking point that came down from somewhere that's been reiterated to where somewhere in a title or in an interview or when you questioning somebody, you got to say he fumbled the bag. I'm like, how the fuck did Tank fumble a bag? He didn't call the fight off. And he didn't get locked up. They have nothing. But somehow he fumbled the bag. So I looked it up. And I was like, why is everybody saying it? And I found a whole bunch of different sources and like how it came out. It says, I think Essentially Sports was the first one, and that's a news. That's the first time. Let me see. I don't want to try to read the whole article. Yeah, that was Essentially Sports. Let me see. The article literally says Tank completely fumbled the bag. Then it was all these different forums where it was in there. Fumbled the bag. Dumbass wife beater fumbled the bag. BoxingDen.com. The Jake Paul Gervonta Davis event has been canceled. Fumbled the bag. YouTube channels. Gervonta Davis fumbled the bag. Tank versus Jake Paul canceled. Box Talk. Boxing News. Gervonta Davis fumbles the bag. Jake Paul fight. Titles explicitly Gervonta Davis fumbles the bag. Jake Paul fight. Different upload from separate channel. Boxing News content. And it shows focused on cancellation and who fumbled the bag. Weekend wrap up. Has Tank fumbled the bag? Buatsi versus Parker. Has Tank fumbled the bag? That's the title question. What's next for Tank Davis? Is Haney Norman boxing roundup? Tank fumbled the bag. Ortiz, Lubin, and more. The show title segment literally labels the situation Tank fumbled the bag. What's wrong with Gervonta? Fumbled the bag. Gervonta Tank Davis just fumbled the bag of a lifetime. Everybody is saying that. I'm like, this came down from higher up. Damn, Tank fumbled the bag. On IG, Tank fumbled the bag. What a bum on X.
Bro, now that you hyper focused on that term, you feel what I'm saying? When I was on B3's this dude B3 panel, dude popped up and he was like, yo, listen, it ain't our fault that Tank fumbled the bag. And then somebody else pulled up. It ain't our fault. Tank is just used to doing. He just fumbled the bag. You just gotta accept it. And I'm like, How do y'all say he did it when this is an accusation? It's a civil suit. Fighters been caught up in legal civil suits and all kind of shit like that while they went into big fights and mega fights. And this is not a big or a mega fight. It's a fucking exhibition. You feel what I'm saying? It's no. I'm like, I don't get y'all now. Here was the part for me that settled in on everything. And it made it crystal clear for me that Tank versus Jake Paul them two dudes was never ever gonna walk in the ring. It just wasn't gonna happen. You feel what I'm saying? Which then goes to the other part of what I was saying earlier. And now I don't even know how that dynamic works out. But here's what I'm going to say. Remember when the Canelo fight fell through for Jake Paul? There were 3 names mentioned that Jake Paul was supposed to have reached out to be the replacement for Canelo. Anybody want to put $1,000 up for it? You feel what I'm saying? I'll be happy to take that bet. One of the names was AJ. Anthony Joshua. He been talking about an Anthony Joshua fight. Even while the Canelo things was in there, he was like, yeah, Canelo, AJ, you feel what I'm saying? But he kept on having AJ's name mentioned in who he wanted to fight between, as his next fight after the Mike Tyson thing. So it's crazy that 3 weeks before the fight, they had that interview. Tank's talking about scripted stuff and everything else, and then maybe a week and a half later, what definitely wasn't 2 weeks, this thing happens. And then within a matter of days, not weeks, days, you hear the talking points. Jake Paul is finalizing a fight with Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. So what I believe is something happened. I think they was either skeptical about announcing it and letting AJ take the grunt, or AJ was busy. Somehow, some way they wasn't able to finalize the deal. I don't know if they were saying AJ was working on something or whatever, but I think that it was because AJ was actually considering somebody else. So it didn't happen. The fight didn't happen. In comes Tank, inserts Tank. So Tank get it, they roll it out or whatever. People wasn't talking about it. They were talking about it, but they wasn't talking about it. They were talking about it like they was talking about it in a fashion where they were just shitting on Tank about it. So it didn't get the same lift off that it would get all the other times. All the other times people talking about, oh man, the undercard is gonna do. He's doing wonderful for women's boxing. Oh, he putting such and such on, and oh man, he's doing this, he's doing that, and then they would talk about him and opponent, whether they would lose or not, like whether they think he was going to knock him out or if the fight was fixed and all of that. When this was announced, they were only talking about the fight in the fashion to shit on Tank. That was like the whole big thing. Like I don't understand it. Circa Tank need to be ashamed. He need to really be fighting this. He need to be really doing this. So they say that the ticket sales, so people started coming out saying that the ticket sales wasn't doing that good. That was the next point or whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's these accusations. We don't know. It's in, everything is in limbo, and then all of a sudden they pulling the plug on it. And they moving it. Even though it had already been skepticism that they were going to move it anyway. So out goes Tank. His name gets outgoing, and they scrambled around. It was a frenzy for all these people that was trying to assert themselves or put their name in a hat, like Andre Ward. Who else I heard? Ryan. I mean, people was doing videos saying Ryan, Andre Ward, like campaigning for them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we hear Anthony Joshua, and it's funny because Eddie Hearn literally did a video saying, we thinking about doing something. He's like, and we wouldn't wait. He said we wouldn't say anything, but he said, but we will wait till the week of to make the announcement. I was like, that sounds kind of weird as fuck. You're not going to announce who it is, but it'll literally be something that you announce the week of to kind of like, when movies, like because they used to do movies where they show you at least get a main preview 6 months out. If you didn't have like a big budget, you'll hear about a movie like with some of them later Saws, like the latest, like one of them Saws like that wasn't that good. Like you heard about it like a month out. Like, yeah, damn, this coming out a month from now. It's like, okay, so that they must be on a shoestring budget. But most of the time, they promote the shit out 6 months. So when you go see a movie like Training Day, you will see like the 6 months. In 6 months, it's gonna be another movie that's on that level. But you will see that preview when you go to the movies and you're sitting in that movie theater, seeing that movie that's gonna come out 6 months, and that's the first time you see it. That's when you have a big budget and you have promotion. Like that's how it normally works. Flash promotion is when they tell you like a week before, and it creates this panic, and it's like, oh shit, like people who just like, damn, it's coming out, and they just gonna rush to see it. Probably not good, but it's flash promotion. So he was saying that they were gonna do some flash promotion type shit to promote Anthony Joshua's next fight. Then it finally comes out that AJ is the guy, and now he's replacing it. So all they really did was force Tank up out of there. They forced Tank up out of there, insert AJ, and I'm waiting for online for all of the outrage, but it wasn't none. AC.
No, it wasn't.
It was no outrage. Like I'm like, where's all these people that saying box? Oh man, like Tank need to be ashamed. It wasn't nothing to do with Jake. It all was on Tank. But now I'm like, where's the outrage?
Yeah, and let me point this out. There was the outrage in Tank fighting Lamont Roach, right? They were like, nah, why didn't he fight Shakur? And he chose to fight Roach and pulling Lamont Roach up from 130 pounds and blah, 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 blah. Then we get the fight, right? And then it turns into Tank better not duck the rematch. Oh, Tank ducked the rematch to fight Jake Paul. And I'm like, okay, so what I'm hearing from you is you just don't like Tank. You don't like his existence. You don't like the air he breathes. Like if you were in the elevator with Tank, you would literally hold your breath. So the point I'm making is this. The dude can't do nothing right within your eyes because you complained about him bringing up Lamont Roach, and then you saying that somehow or another he ducked Lamont Roach when the rematch was only if he wanted the rematch or not. Lamont Roach had no rematch, so Tank, if he was giving him a rematch, he's giving him a rematch to pay him more money and get
right,
fix the perception
right
of what happened. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he didn't duck anybody because that could still happen. That's not off the table. All Tank got to do is make a phone call like, yo, you want to do this? I bet you $1,000 Lamont Roach will drop that pit bull fight in a fucking heartbeat because he know the money ain't in the pit bull fight. The money is doing the rematch with Tank.
Right.
So guys, just take it down 1,000. What I wanted to say also was the only other afterthought in a Tank versus Jake Paul hatred at the beginning was, and this was just thrown in as an afterthought, if somebody was smart enough to say, yeah, but the card does have Alicia Baumgardner and we're gonna have the first women's fight for 3 minutes. So that was a historical event. You feel what I'm saying? You mean to tell me you're gonna throw away this historical event and everything else because of an unproven accusation? And that's what makes me say, what proof? When people say Tank did whatever, I ask them one question: what definitive proof do you have that he dropped the bag? And you know what they come to me with? You know the answer?
What?
I'll text it to you so you can put it on screen. Tank has never fought his counterparts. That was the fucking answer to a simple question. What definitive proof do you have? You text back to me a paragraph of telling me Tank never fought his counterpart. He doesn't want to fight the competition that's within at his weight class and things like that, and yada yada yada, and all of this other stuff. And after that, I just text back, so why is Shakur going to 140 to fight Teofimo Lopez?
Yeah, that's okay though. There's no outrage. It ain't no. That's another thing. I would say.
Tio going for he fighting the man. Yeah, he's gonna be the man, but you put it best. He's going to be the man. But that is not the toughest competition at 140. for a boxing diehard, we're like, yeah, you got your little trinket off of Tio. Tio, you know, we're congratulating both you guys on making the fight. You're giving us glimpses of who you used to be. But in between those glimpses, we didn't recognize you. So for me, in that non-recognition, it makes me feel you the man, but you're kind of like the lowest hanging fruit at that division. You feel what I'm saying? Timing got you where you are. Your talent and timing got you where you are. So with that being said, I can name at least 3 other fighters who on any given night, not they have to be up for the fight or down for the fight or interested and yada, yada, yada. Just on any given night are much tougher competition. I mean, a much tougher out or opponent to face than Teofimo Lopez. And that was a debate. I was trying to have with this dude. Like, yeah, I'm not denying he's not going to be the man. But that's not the toughest level of competition at the division. And he was like, how are you saying that when he's the man? Just because you're the man doesn't mean you're the fucking killer. You just have a trinket that tells everybody you beat somebody who was in a line. But that doesn't mean necessarily you're always the toughest competition.
But look, AC, we seeing this right now with this whole push for the Virgil. This is why I be trying to say, this is why I see shit different. It sticks out like a sore thumb to me. You are vying for this Virgil Ortiz because that style is tailor-made for you.
Yeah.
And right now he's peaking. But Virgil Ortiz ain't the man at 54. He's not the man at 54. It can be said that Fundora is really the man and maybe Bakram is the boogeyman of the division. But everybody look at, because every time you talk about Fundora, they say, oh man, that style, you know, and he's the guy with the actual belt. Like, so people do that because they say, like they said when Bud came up, like Jeff Horn, they said everybody wanted Jeff Horn. But they looked at Jeff Horn like he was the weak one. Like when Tank came up and he did that, when he came up to 40, he fought Mario Barrios. They said Mario Barrios was the weak one.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a major title. Josh Taylor was still that guy. But they said, man, if you're going to come up, man, you had Regis up there. You had blah. They start naming all of the other tougher guys. Certain people don't get. It's not the same standard. It never is.
Now, this is where I'll give a fighter a mulligan. When you have a situation, let's put it like this. Let's just say Crawford wanted to come up to either 47 or 68. And we're going to leave it with William Skull and Jeff Horn, right? Let's say Errol had 3 of the belts. Canelo had 3 of the belts. Let's just say Errol had 3 of the belts. You feel what I'm saying? You want that Errol Spence fight. Does it make more sense to go after the weaker champion because the other champion, you know, may have 2 of the belts, or maybe he's caught up in a mandatory that had a purse bid. But at the end of the day, it left that 3rd belt open. You're the guy coming up because you want to fight him. You go get that belt. Now, if you want this undisputed, now you got to come see me. In that situation, I will give that fighter his pass pretty much 10 times out of 10. Long as that's the intent. You feel what I'm saying? As long as that's the intent. So I have no issues with that when that's the context to the situation. When you just moving up and going after the easy belt, and you just, because that least amount of competition is the actual least threat as well, because this fighter has ongoing issues that stem from outside the ring, maybe contractual and stuff like that, then I'm not really with that. I'll give you your credit. You win the fight, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna look at it like, yeah, but you know, that guy, he was going through some stuff, and granted that a fighter like you would take the belt off of him if you're going to be active with the belt, than to have that guy constantly hold on to the belt and shit is being stalled because, this one dude is going through all of this bullshit and won't let the belt go. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes we just have to look at the context of the situation and then make an educated, stance on that. Okay, what side of the stance you stand on? Yeah, I give him the look, but it's still the easiest level of competition. I'll give you the pass, but you went up there, you're supposed to take that guy out because the bigger threat was the guy who had all the belts, and that's the fight that you wanted, that's the fight that fans wanted, and because you did moves like that, I got to give you your props. I'm not even going to bring that argument because it's a smart business move. It makes sense. If I was a fighter in that position, I would have done it too.
Yeah, it's like this. I got two examples right here. What you're talking about, like right here. So to illustrate what you're saying. So in this case, we saluting Devin because it like when you look at this picture right here, Mario Barrios probably has the best resume because he has the most experience and he's been in there with the biggest names. But it's no doubt everybody think that Brian Norman is that guy. That's why it was such a big demand for Boots to get Norman, and now it's such a big deal that Devin Haney is going to go fight Norman. Yeah, that's the reason why. So because even though he might not tenure wise and all, like resume and all that, he might not have what Mario Barrios had. But everybody look at him like he's the toughest guy. That's why everybody's saying, damn, Devin, like I can't believe you doing this. Like salute Devin. That's why they saying, hey, to see Devin, he always so now he get the moniker where he always goes after all the biggest, baddest smoke and all this. Like, yeah, we'll let you have that because he's doing it now, but we ain't gonna get into the minutia. But that's why he's getting the respect, right? In this situation, you got the guy on the right and the guy, then the guy with the WBO. You got Baru and Xander. And most people are looking at them two guys like those are the weakest link. They really look at Xander like that, like he's the weakest. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They look at him like Xander, they say, but they're getting ready to unify and look at the other two guys. They look at Fondor. Every time you bring up Fondor, they say, hey, man, that size, that height, that's the biggest challenge. But they look at Bakram like he the boogeyman. You're not going to these guys' fights and calling them out and chasing them down, and you're going to yeah. You going to Virgil, man, who got dropped twice by Boychuk, who got beat up by Brandon Adams, man. Like, who got stopped and then got beat up by Brandon Adams, man. Like, you that's why I find it laughable. It's like all of a sudden you just like a moth to a flame. You know what I'm saying, with some Virgil. But these are the guys right here. It's Fundora, who Virgil's in that line, and then it's the boogeyman Bakram, who you had a strap that would put you right in line to go straight up and get it. And this man didn't have a fight for a whole year. You chose to get Lima. And now you got the internet on fire. But then this is the other example. Bud told Janabak, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be your Huckleberry. But they also saying that he might be looking at trying to get Adamas. I don't know if that story got any legs, but see, that would make sense because if Laura and this is what I had recommended a couple weeks ago. When Laura and Janabek get it on, that's the WBO, the IBF, the WBA. They will be looking like Earl Spence, except for Earl Spence, the only lone belt he didn't have was the WBO. WBO. Right? He'd be looking the same. So they'll have 3 belts. If Bud was to go get Adamas right now, even though I think they see Janabek as being that guy, but they respect Lara because of the history. So I think it's kind of divided, but they think if I had the reason, they would say Janabek is the guy. Right? Yeah. He's supposed to, like, that's, you think he the guy in that division?
Do I think Janabek is the guy that in that division?
Yeah.
I mean, on the low, Janabek they've been wanting to tell us, Janabek is the killer in that division. I watched a couple of Janabek fights. I would say for the talking point, because of the other two names and how they tried to build Janabek, it kind of fits. But then when you really, really put it under the microscope, it's like, nah, I don't think it's Janabek. In my opinion, it might be Laura.
Yeah, it might be Laura, but people will respect your scenario, the one scenario when you moving up, because if your goal is to get undisputed and Laura and Janabek don't get it on, it would make sense for you to go get Adamas right now. Now people want to say, oh man, why wouldn't you just go get Janabek or go get Laura? It's like, well, if they want to go get a fight and you go get Adamas, people ain't gonna be like, oh, you went to go fight the weakest champion. You just went to go get yourself in the equation. The same thing that I said, if they saying that Boots would he can go to 160 and do all this, I said, man, he need to get Adamas on the line. If you want to get a Bud, man, you could fuck up, you could spoil the plan. That would be something outside the box. And if you that bad, this will be your chance to prove that you pound for pound.
Yeah.
Go beat the shit out of Adamas. And all your questions, okay, so don't make no excuse for Mel, who used to be undisputed at 54. You gonna wait for Virgil. Okay, cool. You can just go get Adamas and put yourself all up in the equation. You can fuck up Janabek plans. You can fuck up Laura plans. You can get in Bud's way if that's what he want to do. So you gonna guarantee your fight with another fight with a legend if you go up there and put hands and feet on Adamas.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way I'll be thinking, bro.
Yeah,
it's different strokes for different folks, man. Like different people, it's a different standard and a different level of. See, they be wanting Tank to do shit like that. As a 35 pounder, they were saying he ducked. They said he ducked Conor Ben.
Yeah, I don't know where that one
off of a fake $25 million offer. I'm like, you dealing with Eddie for one. They were saying, oh man, he asked Turkey for 2 Ferrari. They act like he asked that man for 2 motherfucking castles or some shit. He asked for 2 Ferraris. Like, you talking to a dude who he had a lot of bread, but they said he ducked Conor Ben. Offer some negotiation, offer some internet negotiation. We got 25, or we'll do, like, just offer some verbal internet shit. They said he ducked Conor Ben. As a 35 pounder with Conor Ben sitting at 47, who went on to jump up and fight a 60 guy. They said Tank ducked that dude. I'm like, the standards just be different, bro.
Yeah.
And I gotta bear the grunt of it as a fan of his, and like to kind of like sift through some of these narratives. I'll be sitting here like, what? Like, the standard for my guy to do this. So if I apply that same shit to your guy, you don't got no answers. And when your guy do some of those same things, like, no, it ain't no heat on T.O. right now for letting Shakur come up. It ain't no heat for him to not make that unification with Richardson Hitchens. But let somebody had done that. Let somebody had beat the shit out. Let Shakur had beat the shit out of
See, there's 3 answers that's always applied for when you have the perfect example when it relates to their fighter. It's the same exact situation. And there's 3 solid answers that are always in rotation, depending on at what point do you interject the same energy argument. And it's always, no, that's not the same, it's different. You just don't get it. That's the first answer. The second answer is no, it's not the same because Tank just don't want to fight nobody. That's the second answer. The third answer is, bro, that shit is irrelevant because all you doing right now is moving the goalpost, and then you have to get into the argument. I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm just giving you the same energy in the same exact example, and asking you about the fighter we're in debate about. But and then the fourth one. The fourth one is, bro, hold on. We not talking about him. We talking about Tank. So those are the four basic answers that you automatically know. Because whenever I inject it, I see it in a text, or I hear it on the phone, or I'm on the panel and I hear it. Or I'm in the chat and I write it, and then somebody who's, a guap queen for the host, they'll start telling me, bro, what is you talking about? Like, that's not even the same. Why are you moving the goalposts? Then click the link. And click, no, bitch ass nigga, why don't me and you click the link then? You feel what I'm saying? So for me, those are always go-to answers whenever I place the same exact scenario and situation, and then I get one of those four answers, or I may get a combination of both of those, or I'll get all of them in one long soliloquy. And then you just look at them like, you just said all of that, but said absolutely nothing. I would have rather you just move the goalpost, because that gaslighting thing that you're telling me, it's not the same situation because Tank don't want to fight nobody, because PBC #1 ain't got no money, so how they gonna put on fights? And Amazon, their budget is telling Tank and PBC they don't want to do it, so therefore, you're moving the goalpost by bringing this guy up because this guy is signed to this dude over here, and he just fought such and such, and you have no proof that Tank was trying to do this and he was trying to do that. Okay, so here's the video. Yeah, but that means nothing though. That don't mean nothing. Like, but this is coming out of his mouth and his promoter's mouth. Yeah, but nah, see, that situation is different though. You trying to move the goalposts. And it's just like, wow, okay, so now you're just gonna stay within those four answers, say some shit in between, but now we're in that the butterfly effect. You feel what I'm saying? Or we're in the time loop. You feel what I'm saying? You brought me into Groundhog's Day.
You might got more patience than me, man, because I'll be ready to slap the shit out of somebody, man. Like, I really would be ready to slap the shit out of somebody, man, especially when he don't want to fight nobody when he sent the offer to Loma. It was finally the A side. He finally was in a position where he can call the shots and get it done. He sent the offer to Loma, and Loma like, nah, man, I got family time. Then he goes sit down and lay down for motherfucking months. Then he shoots something over to Shakur and them, and they act like he was calling. His team was calling for crumpets and tea, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna revisit. We're gonna spin the block on it. We're gonna go over here and sign with these people, and don't even try to make a fight with Tank and them over there. But you want a Tank fight, right?
Yeah, but what were all the videos we were looking at and going over to? Whereas before he even left, Bob was like, "Look, you got to kind of understand something. People would rather see Tank versus Loma, or Tank versus or Tank versus Teofimo Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two fights that actually generate the big money in order for me to pay for it. So at the end of the day, we can get you the Tank fight, but we don't know what's going on with Teo right now, and Loma's kind of out of the question. So let's revisit this after you re-sign. Or if you give us the guarantee you're going to re-sign, we can start to put this thing together and back you as your promoter. We would love to do the fight for you, but just re-sign with us so we can guarantee you good representation as your promoter to make this fight.
And guess what? And guess what, AC? This is what happened. When I look at it, Bob actually had intentions on putting all three of them guys in there. But guess what? Right around the time when it was like right at the precursor, like the pre, It was like right, you get ready, you get ready. You're not quite there. You getting ready bust, but it's that pre. Like right when they got pre, they start acting funny, bro. Like when you look at T.O. and the emotions he had, because quiet as kept. The most excited Bob had ever got was with what was when he talked about T.O. and Tank, and I remember it like it was yesterday, because at one point in time that was looking like a mega fight, like with the tear that T.O. was doing and him having power and him, like, because they're the ones that's closest in size and they both explosive, and you know what I'm saying, like we at one point in time that fight was like just add water. It was like all T.O. had to do was keep winning and then probably get something on the books as far as in the way of a pay-per-view, but really just keep winning, just stay down and keep winning. It was going to happen. He started moving funny. Shakur, all he had to do was take that deal. Now we used to think it was a 5-fight. It was a 5-fight 15, but it was a 6-fight 18. We went over that timeline, and we went over with reasonable intentions. We went over 2 people that had signed contracts with his name on it. We went over who had the belts, and then we went over history of the triangles of who all fought who, and how it was only a missing link of Shakur in that triangle. One being Jermaine Ortiz, one being Lomachenko, the other being T.O. We're getting a T.O. fight now, but you went over there to do all of that just to get this T.O. fight, which, you know what I'm saying, completes a couple of the triangles. Why? Because T.O. fought Loma, T.O. fought Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz said he had a signed contract with you. Jermaine Ortiz fought Lomachenko. So we knew the names, and then guess who started acting funny? Shakur started acting funny. Why? Because he left and went on free agency when it wasn't his time to shine. It wasn't his time to actually do that. He could have stayed, and that was minimum. I reiterate, that was a 6-fight, 18 mil minimum, meaning a minimum. He was going to get. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we know you was going to get paid the money, and you was on a track because Bob was on record saying that he wanted to make. He felt like any one of his 3 guys between Loma, T.O., and Shakur could beat Tank. They started moving funny.
Yes. Bob said,
not Tank, but Tank don't want to fight nobody, and he don't fight his contemporaries.
And Bob was like, I am sure this is why I was pushing for the fights, because I was absolutely sure either one of those guys could beat Gervonta Tank Davis. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, I take it back to this juncture in time. We're gonna go about 2 years before Tank fought Ryan, right? About 2 years before Tank fought Ryan. And this was around the time when you was talking about T.O. versus Tank. You feel what I'm saying? And then remember, they got into that when Twitter was kind of brand new. They got into that argument on social media, and then Ryan jumps into the argument, and then we're looking at all of this stuff going on, and we're like, okay, what's gonna happen? Because for me and one of a couple of people that I talked to that's really into boxing and everything, we were kind of trying to make the bet to say, all right, if anything, the way these dudes is talking right now and how funny these dudes is moving, I would almost bet that T.O. and Ryan is gonna get a fight, and who you got, and then that T.O. and Ryan fight start to get some traction, and then it was kind of announced, but then Ryan pulls out because he said he had, mental illness and shit like that. Remember all of that? You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm only saying what I'm saying because it's just adding a little context to the timelines that we're given here. That Bob has always been willing for these 3 fighters to try to make the big fights. You feel what I'm saying? Because Ryan went through his mental illness, and then T.O. went through his mental illness stage. You feel what I'm saying? And then mental illness was just being handed out like lollipops at the dentist's office. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, it's just a clear history, and guys that want to keep coming out and say he hasn't tried to fight nobody, he don't want to fight nobody, and all of this other stuff. It's like, please miss me on that, because I can go back to a long time, and at this particular point, I wasn't the biggest Tank fan. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna keep it a beam. At that point, I was more upset at PBC and the moves that PBC made when I was clearly seeing them stall out Gary Russell. Because like I said to you a couple of shows back, Gary Russell was the guy that I was like beats all of them young dudes. I don't think any of them young dudes really want to get in the ring with Gary Russell. And then Gary Russell started to speak out about Tank, and then I was running in different circles and things like that. And I was 50-50 agreeing with the things that they were saying, but more so my thing was more on the line to say, listen, hey Tank, you don't got to worry about none of them over there. Why don't you just fight Gary Russell? And that's where I was like, all right, I'm not understanding why don't nobody want to get in the ring with Gary Russell. So that's where I originally started questioning Tank, and then I was like, I fucks with you. I'm gonna deal with you in the ring like that, but for the most part, I hope somewhere on down the line, we get you and Mr. Gary Russell in the ring together, because I think that would be a legendary epic fight. To me, that was Tommy Hearns versus Marvin Hagler to a certain degree, as far as like the magnitude of, if you're a boxing fan like that, I think that was the fight everybody wanted to see. And I'm still like, I'd rather see that than actually really than Tank versus Shakur. If Mr. Gary Russell was much more active like that, yeah. I'm like, shit, I don't even give a fuck if I saw Lamont Roach versus Gary Russell. So, that was at that point, and I wasn't like how PBC was moving, and I just helped mostly all PBC fighters under that umbrella until slowly but surely, things and information was coming my way, and it was more consistent that I could actually research these things. And then I was like, all right. And then when I seen him make his turn, like he made the turn earlier, but when I seen him make the turn, it was like he has a consistent weight he kind of makes. It's always within point something of what it is. And I was like, okay, cool. And then people were talking about he was putting rehydration clause on people. And I was like, nah, he's just exposing weight bullies. If y'all talking about weight bullies and y'all want to keep going on about these weight bullies, these dudes are weight bullies compared to that dude, man. Like on some real shit. So if he's going to expose them, play all the tricks you got to. Use all the A-side leverage you got to let them dudes know you got no business down here with me. You need to take your ass up to a weight class that's more suitable for you. But I'm before you go, I am going to whip your ass, though. That's the one thing that's going to happen. I'm going to knock you out, whip your ass, and I'm going to send you back on to the weight class you belong in. And I was like, one by one, this little nigga doing that shit. I was like, wow. And then dude's like, what you mean? I was like, look at all the little niggas, look at all the dudes that had no business down at 35. After Tank whipped their ass, what they do? They ran up to 140 and then kept on moving up between some of them. So that nigga's exposing people, bro. That's a real boxer right there. That's what it's about. You could tell me all yeah, I'm not fucking with the belt shit. That's just him. You know what I'm saying? But he's still a 3-division champion.
Yeah, I think I think, man, I think we in some tricky waters, man, right now with Tank, man, because I know his motivation is probably, I don't know where his headspace is right now. I know how I get. I know some of the situations I've been in. I've been in some bullshit there. It's like, man, this shit is it's like Twilight Zone. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? That never happened. This didn't do what? I ain't never what?
Yeah.
And then you lose that kind of bag. Like, that's some movie shit. Like, that's some like movie, like that was a lot of money. He didn't fumble it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fumble it. He was attending the business, and it's like the Lamont Roach came about. You're pretty good at doing this, asking how do we get here. Like when we got the Lamont Roach, we always had to go back and say, listen, we're gonna be responsible. How did we end up in this dark alley, in this back alley with all these roaches? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did we get here? We were just at the Waldorf Astoria. They kicked us out. You know what I'm saying? Like Loma said no. Shakur said no. People was acting funny. They was, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get to Lamont Roach?
Yeah.
And then when he fought Lamont Roach, everybody was up against it. Now it was history because Lamont Roach fought Hector Garcia. But it was crazy because it was cool when Shakur was gonna fight Lamont Roach, but guess what? Lamont Roach lost to Jamel Herring, who Shakur spanked Jamel Herring. They don't ever talk about that triangle, but it was acceptable when it was okay for Shakur, when it was deemed to. It's just like when Shakur was gonna fight Frank Martin, that was acceptable, that was cool, everybody was with it. But when he fought Tank, oh man, he don't fight nobody. He sparked Frank. He didn't go in there and go to distance and do 12 rounds and pity pat and all that. They was in there slapping leather and sparked them. Sparked everybody. Except for, you know what I'm saying, Lamont Roach and Pitbull, who ironically fighting. But it was they said something about him when he fought with Pitbull. But then everybody wanted to fight him. You know what I'm saying? People got their names off of him. You know.
Okay, remember this one, Body? Tank don't fight slick black fighters. Tank will never get in the ring with a slick black fighter like Shakur or Devin or somebody like that. All he want to do is try to do what Floyd did and fight the Mexican fighters. Okay, so when the Frank Martin thing was there and then dudes was cooking on Tank, I said, okay, all right. Is Frank Martin black? Yes. Y'all said Tank don't fight black fighters. And y'all said Tank don't fight slick black fighters. Okay, so would you consider Frank Martin a slick black fighter? Dude's like, pretty much, yeah. So he fits the bill. So how can you say he don't fight a certain fighter when he's getting ready to fight that guy? Like, when do you open your eyes to the event that's in front of you instead of closing them, putting a bandana over your eyes, then putting a sleep mask over your eye, then putting a welding helmet over your eye, then putting, a kidnapper's hood over your head and shit like that, then wearing a motorcycle helmet? I mean, how many layers do you need to cover your eyes so you can just continually say, in the sight of him getting ready to fight the guy that fits everything you're talking about, but you don't want to give him credit for that? That's the part I didn't understand, and that's why I was just like, see, now I'm starting to get frustrated because I don't like when fans just shit on a particular fighter and your talking points for shitting on that fighter don't add up. It's just like y'all pulling shit out your ass. You feel what I'm saying? And then you want everybody to believe it, and then no matter, even if there's a person on the panel that's sticking up for him, every time you talk, you're gonna end anything you say with, my whole thing is just Tank just don't fight nobody. He just ain't out here trying to fight nobody. And it's just like, you know what, I'm done talking to your stupid ass, man. You know what I'm saying? You just stupid for the sake of being stupid. If I looked up stupidity in a fucking dictionary, it would have that face you making right now.
But the thing is, AC, when it come to their guy, like when it come down to Boots, they be saying, "Oh man," but people be acting funny, and they see all of the stuff. They see how people move funny and how they can point all that, but they can't point it out when it comes to somebody else. Like they can't point it out.
But that's
like,
why
right
I asked.
now,
go ahead.
Right now, we say, man, we just want to see Boots fight somebody, and there's options out there, and we know like part of it's Eddie, and we know that part of it's like he's not in the same situation as Tank. You know what I'm saying? But like we know he's high risk, and you know what I'm saying, maybe I don't know what kind of reward. They're looking like low reward still, even though it shouldn't be the case when you're selling out. But that certain fan base can see all of that. They can see, even with Shakur, they can see how everybody was moving and how everybody did this and how everybody did this, but they can't see it when it comes to Tank. He just for some reason, he just don't want to fight nobody, even though he done fought all the people that everybody want to fight now.
Yeah.
And sparked them. Like most of them, like, you know what I'm saying? He sparked Rolly, he sparked Ryan, he sparked Frank, he knocked Hector Garcia lights out. You know what I'm saying? He stopped Mario Barrios to the body. Like, need I go on? Everybody want to fight all of those guys.
Yep.
So it's like, I just bubble in the cut, man, because I'm tired of having them arguments. I don't even, if you think he is or whatever, it's not my job to really defend it, and it's not really my job to let people get me worked up about it. But it's like, you're not gonna gaslight me.
Yeah.
If people want to have a conversation about it, and they get mad and quiet, like, because you remember when we used to be on there and I'll be asking them questions and they got all this shit to say. I ask a question, they get quiet. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna. When we talk about their guys, they get quiet.
Yeah.
Like you could hear mouth pissing on cotton. You ask them about something when it come down to Shakur. I used to do it all the time. I ask them something and nobody got no answer. But soon as you say Tay, yeah, that's what I wanted. Blah, 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 like some cackling hands.
Yeah, and that's when you start to see, at least on other channels, a lot of people start to pull up in the channel, and the panel get full fast as hell. You feel what I'm saying? But here's the funny part. Just like I asked the question earlier, and this was something that I was speaking on earlier, that I'm on other channels, and people was telling me all of this crazy shit about Mel Charlo, and all this hyperbole and world-renowned praise to Jerome Boots Ennis, and I said, okay, so what has Jerome Boots Ennis done to give you the confidence that he just smashes Jamel Charlo if they fight? What fight has he had that says, yo, listen? And then it's, see, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Why you gonna ask a question like that? Because I said the fight. That's the toughest fight. Now you're facing a real lineal champion. Mel ain't lineal champion. Yeah, the powers that be in the racism of boxing took that lineal championship away from that black man. Meanwhile, a drug addict, you feel what I'm saying? A convicted drug user, a convicted PED cheat gets to keep his lineal championship, come back and fight off of or for his lineal championship off the couch. And this dude, no drug cheat, no cocaine, you feel what I'm saying, found in his system, no ties to organized crime, none of that. You took his joint for inactivity. Why didn't you take Tyson Fury for inactivity? and for being found guilty. The man he couldn't even box. He literally had to wait till the 2-year suspension was up and then refile. So, bro, miss me on that. That's why his 2 comeback fights weren't in the fucking UK, because he still couldn't fight in the UK. So miss me with all of that bullshit. But they let that man keep his lineal championship. But Rob Jamel, and you niggas gonna sit here and tell me that, you know, well, Mel lost his for inactivity. You fucking coon ass piece of shit motherfucker trying to tell me you come from the fucking hood. You ready to hop on some black and white racial shit in a heartbeat when there's some other shit. But here's a situation right here, and you're siding with the people who stole something away from this black dude. And you got no problem with that. Why? Why Mel? Well, because honestly, it's because he signed the PVC. That's the only reason why.
That's exactly why I was getting at that earlier when I was doing the point about Tony Harrison. I'm like, the illustration is missed because it's people just clearly don't like certain people. It's like you can't get around it. Like they've done such a great job, man, at getting us to like hate black excellence, unless it's a black excellence that's in your faction or that you know what I'm saying? It's like weird as fuck. It's weird, man. It's like, no, I'm like, man, it's just weird, man. It's like they are going to celebrate. They have no problem with AJ. Now think about this, AC. This was Wilder country. Yeah. Like, I was the odd man out on some Wilder shit. Like back in the day, I was the odd man out on the Wilder shit. I was the one quote unquote hate because I'm like, nah, man, like the era right now and this and that. I'm not getting into all of that, but like AJ got no pass. AJ wasn't getting no pass. It was Team Wilder everywhere. Now all of a sudden, don't nobody got no real flack for AJ. Ain't nobody gonna go out there and really like just. So it's really like they don't like Tank. They don't fuck with Tank. They don't want to see Tank get that bread.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you are an American and he comes from one of the worst places. You can go over, man. You go over there to Pennsylvania Avenue and ride up slow or walk. Go walk up that street. You gonna feel uncomfortable as a motherfucker. Like if you ain't from around there, you gonna feel like, yeah, I ain't, you know what I'm saying, I ain't really got no business up here.
At the end of the day, I'm from Brooklyn. Certain parts of Brooklyn led for a hot minute as the murder capital. Where that man come from, that shit is consistent. That shit held that shit consistently as the murder capital. So I'm like, bro, I'm from here. And we think we whatever here. And he come from a spot that worse than us. Because the worst part I could think of in Brooklyn is certain parts of Brownsville, East New York. The rest of that shit, that's pretty much it. You know? That's pretty much it. And it ain't as bad as over there.
Look, dude, we held it down in Baltimore. We held it down. We was the heroin capital of the nation for the longest. And now in the defense hit, I don't know. I haven't looked at the rankings and all that. I've been looking at different rankings. I've been looking at boxing rankings, but I mean, I know we ain't too far behind with that Fent now, but we was the heroin capital of the nation for the longest. That's like the capital. The capital. I'm talking about you go outside, man, you see people hunched over, I guess it do something to that fluid in your spine. It had your spine compressed and you be bent over. Be so many people hunched over, bro, walking. Like, it's just wild out here. Like, but to have somebody that come from that environment and actually made something of himself, he got the AI image, but like Tank he's really a good dude. Like, he ain't even, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he a jerk. Tank really ain't no jerk. You got people out here that's talking about a situation and trying to make it seem like he got all this, whatever. He's a boxer, so in the boxer, he got a boxer's mentality. But they be trying to they be light-handed, trying to be so political. It's like, who you pay? We don't know this man got anger problem with women. We know he got money, and just like anybody else, I mean, he got a bullseye on his back, but we don't know that he necessarily got a problem with women. If anybody try to take your money, if anybody get sideways with him, it ain't just women. If anybody get, because he's a boxer, like, but they in defense of him, they make him sound all crazy, and like it's like Tank ain't even like that, man. Tank, he ain't even like that. Like, for real, like, and it's just wild, man. Like the energy that people give off, and I see it mainly when it comes down to PBC, because if you think about it, it literally agitated the fuck for people to see Earl get all that love that he got this weekend, like that weekend when he, you know what I'm saying, that was agitating. They don't like talking about Al. They sit around and talk about Al like they know the nigga. Like the nigga done made so many millionaires. He done so much, and the whole reason why he got in was because he saw how his brother was getting done, and he wanted to do better. He wanted fighters to be able to do for themselves, to where when they get done and hang up the gloves, they got more than enough. Like if you think about it, that's why these people can go lay down, and they got businesses and shit like that, and they're taken care of well after they hang up the gloves. But people hate Al. People hate Earl. I'm talking about they go out of their way. Like, and it was this thing. Somebody was talking about a tweet that Bud put out, and they were trying to decipher that. Part of them thought that it was about them. I'm like, that's just shallow to believe that Bud is really tweeting about you. Part of me, I was thinking, do it have something to do with Shakur, or do it have something to do with Roy going to go help Earl? And I was just like, because he was on that enemy of my enemy is my friend, or you know what I'm saying? Like he flipped it, but it was about that, and I was like, I'm like, if he looking at Roy, like, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking broader, something to deal with boxing. So it was either something with Shakur or something with Roy going to go help, because I heard Andre Ward saying it's the first time I ever heard Andre Ward say some glowing praises of Earl. Like, that's the first time I ever heard Andre Ward be like, yeah, man, cause Spence, he's good. And like, I've never heard Andre Ward give Earl Spence that many compliments and shit like that when he was talking to Roy. And then Roy talking about he going out there to go help, and then we get this weird tweet from Bud. But I'm like, when you look at it, they hate Tank, who made it to the face of boxing and was getting that bag and knocking him off a 93% knockout ratio, right? They hate Jermell, who got undisputed at 54. They don't even acknowledge it. They don't put up no fight. They shit on his resume. They won't even give nobody that he fought for a belt credit. They hate motherfucking Earl Spence. They hate Al Heyman. It's like, y'all hate y'all fucking selves.
Yeah, and the crazy part for me, man, is most of the channels that I rocks with, these are the very same channels that I find myself in debate with over Shakur, Errol Spence, and Jamel, because they praise the shit out of Shakur, right? Praise him to the point where it's everybody from heavyweight to rice weight is ducking Shakur Stevenson. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes down to Errol Spence, I don't even want to hear about him. He should just go ahead and retire, because that fight he had with Bud and this and that with Bud, and it's like, yeah, okay. Look at how Terrence Crawford turned out. We were all fans of the guy. We felt the way we felt about him. Okay, Errol Spence lost to that guy. He lost to the guy that you actually say there isn't no fighter in boxing history from heavyweight to rice weight that can beat Terrence Crawford, and any fighter that will ever be born. You feel what I'm saying? So, okay, I get your stance. All right, cool. But if that's the praise you give Terrence Crawford, then Errol Spence at that time was his biggest fight. According to, a lot of what was going on at the time, also his toughest competition. Also his most accomplished fighter. You feel what I'm saying? So if we giving him all of that and Errol lost to him, why can't we get past that and now support Errol Spence? Oh, because not for what they put us through. Okay, what did you physically go through in that whole lead up? Literally, motherfucker said that to me. I was like,
no,
wow. Fuck out of here.
But AC, let me tell you this though. This is how I know. I'm gonna just make this point, then you could have it there. But this is how I know. This is how I know it was different. I said, man, damn, like when the statement came out, he was like, man, is he a Hall of Famer? They was basically like, hell no, like, hell no, he ain't no Hall of Famer. I was like, hold on, man, how you gonna discredit like this to say shit like what Devin is doing with Brian Norman right now? It's the same shit. Salute Irony Boxing. It's the same shit.
Yeah, salute.
Just discrediting. I'm like, this man was unified. He had 3 straps. You relieved him of 3 straps. That's your biggest win. You like, hell no, he ain't Hall of Fame. But look, they bragged. They did an anniversary. They had an anniversary a year afterwards. Coming up on 2 years afterwards, another anniversary, a celebration. But when it came around, when he beat Canelo, you know what they said? They said, man, Canelo gonna be all right. He only lost to like the number 1 pound for pound guy in boxing. I was like, but where was that same reasoning when it came down to Earl?
Yeah.
That's why I say it be self-hate. That's why I say I get the statement. I'm like, cool, Canelo, he gonna be all right, because Bud proved that, you know what I'm saying, he number 1 pound for pound. But where was that same application when it came down to Earl, the guy who without that catapult off of Earl, that springboard off of Earl, like the win over Earl, without that,
he would have never got the Canelo fight. He wouldn't have never got the Canelo fight.
But Salute, you back there? What's up, man?
Yeah, my fault, but I had to drop off. A call came. I had to pick that.
Oh, you all good? All good.
Oh, what's good, AC?
What's good,
man? I had a question for you, but you touching on Spence, man. I'm from Houston, so back in the day when he was fighting, man, me and my family would drive out to Dallas, man, and watch him. I saw him in this Mikey fight. I drove down there for the Ugas fight and for the Danny fight when he came back. So shout out to Earl, man. I think, what's crazy, when you look at his career, Bud kind of stole the blueprint, because Al Heyman and them guys had him lined up for Pacquiao. He had to pull out of that. That would have been a unification. He would have went into Undisputed with Bud after beating Pacquiao, knock off Bud, and they had Canelo waiting for him at 160, I think, or 164.
Yeah.
So basically, the blueprint that Bud is on now, outside of Pacquiao, that was set up for Spence, man.
Bro, I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. Terrence Crawford knew that if Errol Spence got that Manny Pacquiao fight, he was never ever gonna get an Errol Spence fight, because Errol Spence would have been a fighter that they would have said out of reach, is too accomplished. Fighting the Terrence Crawford was kind of like a look backwards, because after the Manny Pacquiao fight, remember the next name they was trying to line him up with in a multiple fight deal that PBC had, and one of the names was supposed to be Errol Spence on that, and that was Canelo Alvarez. That's why after the Pacquiao fight fell through, a lot of that attention fell from what I was looking at and following, those following the crowd that's behind Errol Spence, he was looking at the Canelo Alvarez fight at 160, and that's why, you know, when it was brought up, I forgot who it was, but the dude was like, so are we gonna get the Terrence Crawford fight? You know, blah blah blah. You back, your eyes better. Unfortunately, the Manny Pacquiao. He was like, yeah, but I could go up to 160 and fight Canelo. So, in the way I think they realized what was going on, because us Bud fans at that time, we was like, we were fucked up that the Manny Pacquiao fight fell through, but there was also a lot of rejoice because it was like, yes, now Bud can still be in the race of finally getting recognized, getting a fight that actually gets him recognized. Because Spence would have got that fight. The next fight that was kind of being churned up was Spence's after Pacquiao. Spence may be putting himself in line to go up to 60 and see Canelo Alvarez. So I think he would have been happy with just getting those 3 belts, or the belts that he got, maybe another belt, and then moving up and then seeing Canelo.
So what happened?
Huh?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you what happened to the Crawford and Pacquiao. I know they were supposed to get it on. They were negotiating. Something happened, right?
Bro,
And
I'm gonna tell you.
what happened with that?
I'm gonna tell you. They act like this didn't happen. I'm gonna tell you. Bomac and them said that they turned it down because they didn't think that the money was there. Go back and look it up. He literally said, yeah, we turned it down. Like, they had it. They turned it down, bro. Because they said they didn't think the money was there. I'm like, where's the money? Like, Pacquiao was synonymous with Z-Bag, man. Like, that's why Earl wanted it. Like, he wanted to share the ring with him, but y'all know at that point, you know what I'm saying, Earl was like, he was big fish. He was trending big fish. Like, he wanted the shit. He was gonna go in there with, man, if they would have let him in there blind, he was gonna go in there, man.
Yeah, at that particular point, Errol Spence had already kind of like opened the door to step into his superstar status, because he was the it guy. He was the number one guy at 147, at the 147 pound division. And at the end of the day, it was just like, because of his style was so brutal and relentless. They literally said his style is a pound for pound type style, and that's where he was like unofficially in the conversation of a pound for pound fighter. Although I don't think his name was actually on the list, but depending on where you went, and other different boxing organizations did have Errol Spence, name on the pound for pound list and stuff like that, because they were talking about that brutal style of boxing that he has. He just, like, it was just fun to watch, super fan friendly. He's doing this thing, blah, 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 blah. And they said any fighter who pretty much had that style at that point could go up in any weight division and do the same thing Errol Spence was doing at 47. So for me, it was still for certain fans, and even in the circles, some of the circles that I don't run in that much these days, but pop my head out every now and again. They still won't give Mel Charlo any credit, and they won't give Errol Spence any credit, and they take more credit away from Mel because they say Mel dropped the bag at 54 by getting stripped of all of his titles and going up to 68 and not beating Canelo. And I'm like, okay, so let me ask y'all this question. Mel would have won that fight at 68. Was Mel coming back down to 54? That's his second division. He's undisputed in. Does he come back down to 54 and make a Terrence Crawford fight? And Terrence Crawford was still at 47. Or does he stay up there and possibly fight like a Caleb Plant? You feel what I'm saying? Or somebody like that. Or even just say, you know what? I'll go down to 60. And I'll get it on with Jennebeck or one of them niggas. And dudes was like, it was awkward silence and then a bunch of I don't know. But then how is he washed up at 54 when nobody took his lineal belt from him? Oscar took that shit from him. You feel what I'm saying? And at that time, us black boxing fans was like, why the Ring magazine pound for pound list? It didn't have black fighters. It was mostly filled with European and Mexican fighters. They kept Loma on the shit for whatever. And it was just like the ESPN pound for pound list. So we was asking all these questions at that time, and look at what happens. We find out that they even stripped this man of his lineal title. So miss me on all of that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I reduce it down to this. It's crazy when these guys on the come up, they be down and sword hunting like a motherfucker. So now you done got to a point where you feel like you reached something or whatever. You know what? That's half. That's half of what Jermell Charlo had accomplished. He already sold up the division that you're going to. And when I hear fighters talking like that, like the way he's talking right now, like the way they're talking about Mel right now, I'm like, listen, I would love for Mel to get a tune-up, but if he don't, that's on Mel. Yeah. He grown, he know his body, he know, I mean, he know what it is. If he calling out your name and all that, he putting a price tag out there, negotiate with that man and get it on. But when they be skeptical about it, that just means you ain't who you say you are, man. You ain't who you say you are. You know, that's just all it is, because it's crazy. When it might be an ass whooping involved, it be all kind of reasonings and all of that. Like, you ain't just in your mess hall with your chest out once it, like, so Mel came out there and said whatever he said, they could talk all that bullshit about what Canelo did and all of that. And the sparring you had with all that sparring. But he was the man in your division, and ain't nobody like shy of him taking that loss and then having that draw. He still sold up the division. It's wild that you don't even want to entertain that. Like, they just, but it's a PBC thing. It's a PBC thing, man. It's people don't like PBC, people don't like Earl, people don't like Tank, people don't like Spence. It's just certain people. Like some of the guys, some of the Hispanic fighters, they have a little leeway. Like they treat Barrios like he is, like, you know, like, oh man, Barrios, man, look at his resume, he's most respected. He get a lot of respect and stuff like that. But like the who's who, they shit on Keith Thurman. How many people did Keith Thurman lose to?
One. Just one, right?
Exactly. But see, Manny Pacquiao got face planted, bro. Like last time I checked, like they be trying to say Earl, like if you let him talk, they'll try to tell you Earl got knocked out and all kind of shit. I'm like, man, Earl did not. Like Manny Pacquiao got face planted, bro. Last time I checked, Earl Spence ain't get face planted. The referee jumped in and you know what I'm saying, and stopped it. You know what I'm saying? The ref did.
Yeah. But
they treat this man like he got face planted like Pacquiao. Pacquiao came back and he's still coming back and doing whatever. And everybody respect him. He's a warrior. He's 8 division champion. He's this and he's that. Earl, who galvanized 3 straps, they treat him like he ain't shit. Why? Because we got a lot of self-hate. And then it's a lot of they be saying PBC people be gangbanging, but it's like they don't have no respect for the people for PBC. It's almost like, because it's like what 50 Cent said, if I can't get no money with you, then fuck you. That's how they look. Like if I'm not part of being able to say I had a part in your success, if I'm getting some of that check, if I'm not somewhere in that equation where I'm benefiting somehow, Fuck you. I can't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna be silent about stuff like that. And then when you uncover the facts, like what Dev asked, ultimately the first time Bob killed it, right? But it came back around. That wasn't the first time. The last time it came around, salute Thomas Hill. The last time it came around, right? And Pacquiao was on the table. Pacquiao did want an absorbent amount of money. I think he wanted like 20 mil. He wanted like 20 mil. And they was negotiating and all this, and they was right at the done deal. And Bomac and them said, nah, man, we had to go ahead and leave because we didn't think the money was there. They turned it down. But I'll be a hater for pointing that out. I just know my history. Like, it's just like, I know that in them negotiations with Earl, it got to the point where I told Earl, I said, move on, bro. Because they were talking about him going up and seeing Lara. Him moving up and seeing Lara. It was already a notion that he might go up and see Lara before that. I was like, man, just move on, Earl. Like, you waiting around, because a lot of people forget this part. It was a point in time when Bud was basically saying, nah, that fight's behind me. I don't need it. And they asked him, they said, well, will your legacy? He's like, my legacy won't be damaged, but his, you know what I'm saying, his will. Then he said, man, tell Earl Spence get his draws out his butt or something like that. Like, it was a back and forth to where 1 minute he wanted it, 1 minute they'll act like that never happened. I just let bygones be bygones after the fight, and then I seen what Bud was able to do after that. But that don't erase or negate the things that happened up until that point.
Yeah. And for me, man, first salute to Thomas Hill, bro. For me, the night of that fight, the night right after the Bud and Dude B-Mac opened up the panel, we damn near cooked till 8 o'clock. I found myself in damn near 2.5 hour, 3 hour debate, because I said that night, I said, listen, Errol Spence, go to 160, get right back in the ring, go to 160, conquer that division. You will be lineal champion in that, lineal and probably you'll be lineal and undisputed in that division, in my opinion, in probably 2.5 years, the way you make moves. So go up there. I have no doubt in my mind you're gonna beat the shit out of Janabek. I have no doubt in my mind you're gonna beat the shit out of Adames. Your toughest fight at that division, in my opinion, is going to be Erislandy Lara. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the fight you make for undisputed. Boom, done deal, bro. I still got you beaten, Lara, but it's gonna be a tough ass fight. But I still got you winning. You feel what I'm saying? You versus Lara, they're gonna make that a lineal fight. And even if you went up there and took out Adames and then had the tough fight with Lara, your next fight is still an easy fight, because Janabek don't like when you go to his body. He's shown me signs of that since I first started watching Janabek. He do not like body shots. You feel what I'm saying? He will tie you up the minute you connect on a body shot, or he'll just start trying to swing wild as hell to get you to back up. So at the end of the day, man, that's the way I was calling the dudes. Just like, AC, where you be coming up with this? Why would he go to 160? I said, because number one, if it's a weight issue, what's 54 really gonna do for him? Nothing. Might as well go up to 160, because according to y'all was saying he balloons up to damn near 200 and something pounds. Y'all was saying that. So if he's ballooning all the way up to there and cutting all of that weight just to squeeze down to 47, why doesn't 60 make any sense? At least 60. Why is that not making any sense? Oh, because ain't nothing at 60. Well, everybody here feels Janabek is some shit. Everybody here feels Laura and Adamas is some shit. So what do you mean there's nothing at 60? Yeah, but it ain't gonna be okay. So then you want him to go to 54 then? No, after that, I think he should retire. What? Y'all niggas ain't boxing fans, man. I'm not talking to boxing fans because in the reality I live in, the boxing fan says, all right, there's two great fighters that got in the ring. Somebody has to lose, otherwise the fight is a draw. Somebody lost. Why can't that guy move on and still have a great boxing career? He lost to the number one guy. And he was the number two guy. Why the fuck can't he move on? Did you see the fight tonight? Bro, man, come on, man. Come on, bro. That's a career ending. For who? For who?
You won't know. You won't know. You won't really know until he get in there and you see his punch resistance gone. But like, you don't know. You don't know. They just like, man. You know why? Because this is how some people think. As it stands, they can always brag that ass whooping retired them for good. So that's just a bragging point on the whole dumbass fan base. That's just like, you know what I'm saying? But like, they don't realize that if Earl came back and part 2 of his killing spree started, that'll make Bud look even better.
Yeah.
But that's not how they think. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, can't even stoop to that level, man, and stay down there with them, man. It's just dumb. They got an extreme hate. I seen a dude do a live and somebody called in and explained to him why Virgil wanted the Earl Spence fight. You can actually see his face. You can see his face. He visibly changed and he was hot. And then normally he'll sit there and talk to the caller and go back and forth. He was like, all right, fam. All right, man. All right. And then hung up. And somebody else called in. And both times somebody called in and explained it to him, this nigga got hot. Like, he couldn't even stand. Like, man, like, I've never in life been the type where if somebody got a better car than me, got better shoes, better clothes, I've always been able to say, hey, man, I like those, man. You looking sharp, or, you know what I'm saying, those nice or whatever. I've never had a problem with complimenting and seeing somebody else being successful. Never. Really? It never bothered me because I know that somebody else's success ain't got shit to do with mine. Yeah. If we working together, I could learn something to do whatever. Okay, cool. But I never hated on somebody else being successful. Never. There's a lot of people out here that don't like that. They see them boys getting that bread. You know what I'm saying? And like, they like 50. If I can't get nothing with you, then fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't it's sad. It's sad because Earl, it's like I got mixed feelings about it. I don't want him to come back if he ain't ready. And then it's a lot of little variables if you want to keep it a buck. Like, he got a different trainer. I didn't like the shit that went down with him and Derrick James. It was an eyesore for me. It was like somebody scratching the chalkboard for me just hearing about that dumb shit. Like, I didn't even like that. So I don't want him to come back if he don't have a trainer. I definitely don't think, as much as I love Roy, I don't know if that'll be a good mix. I think he need to get with somebody like Coach Kevin Cunningham, the Southpaw Whisperer. They got to have some continuity, or even somebody from his youth or his past that used to work with him, maybe. But like, I got a lot of question marks. I'm not like, I know that Earl can still be great. You know what I'm saying? If he still has his punch resistance and, you know, and he ain't out there just trying to run up a bag. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna say he can do what to who. It's just a lot of little factors.
Let me ask you this question then. Because there was a trainer that I'm looking at him, and there's a part of him that makes me feel that he might be the right person for Errol Spence. Part of me feels that way. What do you think about Prentice? That Prentice got Errol?
I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't even know. I haven't seen Prentice work with anybody that's a southpaw.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, I like that he's young or whatever. I think for me, I think it's Coach Kevin Cunningham or Antonio Tarver.
Okay, I like Tarver. I like Tarver, but
You know,
I don't know. For me, my only issue with Tarver is I don't know if Tarver could take himself out of the picture to be able to train somebody. And I think that might be kind of the issue with Roy and maybe the issue with Winky. You feel what I'm saying? Although Winky's a little bit better, you feel what I'm saying? But I just think the reason why they haven't had success like that, like other fighters who became coaches and have great success, um, is because they're always looking through the eyes of how they were brought, how they trained in their regimen, instead of saying, okay, everybody is not me. I may have been a special athlete. You feel what I'm saying? So these drills that I'm doing that was easy for me, these other guys may struggle through it. So I got to bring them up through the stages to get them, you know, to be able to breathe properly through these exercises. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's sometimes the difference between a great chef and just a chef. Sometimes the great chef knows how to take good cooks that came from other situations and cooks that just never cooked before, and you can have both of them match because you know how each person learns. This guy learns by just following the recipe. This guy learns even though he doesn't have that much experience as that guy. But once you show this dude, he's got it. So then by the time they meet during service, everybody's working like one complete unit.
yeah, I think it really is gonna come down. It's just like a relationship. It's just like you would think on paper certain relationships would work, but it just depends on their chemistry. You know what I'm saying? And how and if he can relay, because I think from Antonio Tarver, he's saying he's looking from the outside in, saying that he can kind of see that it was certain things, certain like I ain't gonna say basic principles that Earl, you could tell Earl didn't like know or wasn't working on. He probably got used to his style, like almost. I'm not gonna say don't lose the illustration, but almost how like with Wilder, he got used to just doing one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like figuring out a way to land that right hand. You know, but like with Earl, he got used to like just pressuring, you know what I'm saying, relentless body work, pressuring and like making people submit to his will. He got his little things, but he was looking at it like from certain perspectives. He was looking like certain principles and concepts that he didn't think either Earl didn't learn or that he was just avoiding the use. So I think it's just gonna come down to like just like when somebody, you know, have a counselor, like you meet a counselor or somebody that's gonna like help you do some shadow work or whatever, like it depends on like that relationship, and we're not gonna know. So it's still as big of a fan I am of Earl, I don't want him to come back if the same thing gonna happen that happened with Roy at the tail end of his career. That's just what I don't want to see, because I'm not gonna watch it. You know, I just hope that it's the right situation, that he's not just coming back for the bag, and that if he really got something left in the gas tank and something down in the basement, saying that you know you still got something left, like, and you're gonna be, you know, a worthy adversary to anybody in there, because especially at them bigger weights, because all it take to get hit in the head the wrong way one time. I mean, we seeing what's happening with Lubin, and I ain't gonna say, but like this is like Lubin, that happened to Lubin with Mel. He went on and had more fights. He had sparring. He was sparring with bigger guys. And you know, he went through that war with Fundora. And then we see with Virgil what happened, and we also saw Regis. You know what I'm saying? We saw Regis the last time out. It looked like, you know, his punch resistance was gone. So we ain't gonna know until Earl get back in there.
Yeah.
I just hope he get back in there right. I ain't gonna try to matchmake him or nothing. I hope he make the best decision, man. He coming back for the right reasons, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
Man, did y'all see when the Crawford fight was going on? They were showing both of the fighters in the back, and Spence was doing pad work with James. He was missing the pads. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, he was off. He was glazed over. People don't. I've said this, like Earl was glazed over. He had this look. I was like, "Why, Earl?" I asked my lady. I said, "Baby, what?" I said, "Why he look like that?" I said, "Why he look like that, man?" His eyes was red.
I ain't never seen his pad work that messy. That shit was, I don't know. And then also, you got to remember too. You guys remember Derrick James at that time. Who did he have in his stable? He had Ryan training for Devin. I think he had Charlo about to start training for Canelo. You had the Tank and Frank Martin going on. He also had AJ he was prepping with. So he had a bunch of fighters in his stable, man. And I just don't think they was kind of focused. I'm not gonna blame somebody, but someone wasn't focused.
but look, hey Dave, you know what's so funny is it was a couple months ago. I seen Earl hitting some pad with some dude. He hit Buddy in the face.
Oh man.
I was like, man, I was like, you gotta have, like, I don't know, man, for y'all get on TV and be recording that kind of stuff or letting that be seen. It's like, so.
But I agree with what you said, Buddy, about I think when I was first on a couple hours ago, man, if Mel hydrates right, that's a tougher fight for Boots than Virgil, if you ask me. If Mel can hydrate right at 154, I think that's a tougher fight for Boots than if he fought Virgil, just because the styles and the experience that Charlo has and the power. What do you guys think?
Yeah, like Mel's one of my guys. I know Mel. That's why I was so pissed off when he went in there to Canelo like that. I know his style. I know his punch output. I know what he normally do. Like, that's my guy. And I know he's a formidable. That's why I say this is why they acting like they heard him, but they didn't hear him. And it's convenient that they didn't really hear him. Because they know that ain't no foregone conclusion. You can go in there and say Boots gonna do this and do all that. Man, Mel walk around close to his walk around where he ain't in there doing no fat camps and all that. Like, that's his division. He still feel like that's his division. I think he will go to 60. I think he would, but like shit, if Boots talking about doing that 54, hell yeah, that's worse for. Listen, we said this the other day. Virgil is tailor-made. This is why they're pressing for that fight. Virgil is tailor-made for Boots. Like, that's why he's flying down and going to go and run up and do all. He is tailor-made. Like, you see what he did to Stanionis? We thought Stanionis was gonna be more. I thought Stanionis was gonna be more durable. But like, if you would come forward, just pressure fighter, like Boots is gonna slap that shit out the park. That ain't Mel. Mel ain't just no come forward like Mel. That ain't gonna go down like that. And Mel can punch. Like, you heard what Mel said when he left that fight. He said, "Man, they don't hit hard enough." I was like, I ain't in there, but like, I mean, yeah, Mel can thump.
Right.
Mel can crack. You know what I'm saying? He catch you with that overhand right, it's good night. He touched that man like any one of them times Karen did, that's over. It's over. Mel can change that shit up with one, and he do body work. He can change that shit up with one punch. He could start. You seen how he did that dude Charles Hatley? One punch, changed that shit all around. Tony Harrison was outboxing him for a period. He hit that nigga one time and it changed the whole complexion of the fight. Like, he got an eraser. Like, so they know. His team knows. Surprisingly, Hackett and them said, yeah, I like that fight. He's like, man, that's a dream fight. He got excited. Eyes got big. He got excited. He was like, yeah. He's like, man, I want to see it. Like, cause they know. They want Boots to be able to make that statement against Virgil while the time is right, because Virgil is peaking. You know, They want to catch him right now while he's peaking, like while he got the juice.
Yeah, because stylistically, I don't know how Virgil fares against whoever rises to the crop as the cream of the crop or whatever, and if it might be Virgil. But like I was saying the other day, if Virgil can fine tune, that menacing, what I'm just dubbing as that Maidana 2.0 style. I think a lot of these fighters who are trying to be more methodical and fight off the premises of protecting their O, you're gonna be the banana in the tailpipe, the comical banana peel on the floor and shit like that, because if you can mask it and bring that style out when you want to develop different wrinkles and shit like that, okay, cool. I think that's a hell of a tool to have in your weapon, just to spring out and say, okay, you dealt with this style, now I'm going to give you this style, my mauler. And that's where I think a lot of dudes is going to get disrupted, and they're not going to know how the fuck do I get this dude timing and this and that. And if you don't got some sort of like ring IQ that could tell you, all right, in this style it's going to be the uppercut and possibly the check hook that's going to be the weapons that keep that mauling style off me and keep it at bay, to whereas I can find my spaces to control it. It's going to be a fucked up night for you. You feel what I'm saying? And he's just going to beat you up real ugly, and then then land some big bombs, and at the end of the day, people are just going to keep talking about Virgil more and more. I'm not going to get on the bandwagon of going down the road with some of these other people and talking about Virgil ducking and stuff like that. I don't believe so. Just like it's always been said, you're dealing with Oscar and you're dealing with Eddie. You feel what I'm saying? Two different trainers, two different promoters, two different promotional companies, but them niggas act like first cousins that hang out a lot. So just keep that in mind. So as we understand what these two guys' thing is moving forward, you're gonna hear these people talking about, oh, these guys ruined their career, this fight, and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Bet next year if they say this fight gonna happen, yo, listen, that Boots and Virgil fight, everybody gonna get excited all over it. And that's just what these two promoters do. You know what I'm saying? Look how long it took for Zepeda to fight Shakur.
Yeah, I'm trying to save people some brain cells and some, I'm trying to help you with your high blood pressure and all that, man. Don't let these creators lead you by the nose, have you about ready to blow a head gasket over a fight with two motherfuckers that ain't even got no belts, like, who can't afford to lose right now, because boxing is not, like, for us. Virgil is a sad reality. Virgil can lose and he got a whole fan base that's gonna be like, oh man, that was Boots, man, yeah, he's good, like, and they're gonna be right the same way they do with Pitbull. They're gonna be right back on the jock strap supporting. If Boots go out there and get stopped or get knocked down or get dropped,
or body,
they are not gonna live. They not gonna let him live it down. So right now, Boots need to figure out. He need to figure out whether he gonna go for Fundora, the winner of Fundora and Keith, or he gonna allow Eddie to line up Bakram if Bakram do what he's supposed to do against Josh Kelly. That would be the best plan of action. Go bang on Bakram.
Bakram can punch, man. Shit.
Yeah, go bang on Bakram. Then your statement is made because you counseled out the boogeyman. Don't let somebody do it like Leon Paro did to Sabril, where Leon Paro beat Sabril, and then they say, "Oh man!" And then when Richardson Hitchens go beat Leon Paro, they say, "Oh man, you ain't beat the guy like that's Leon Paro, like." Because he knocked the luster off of Sabril by beating the boogeyman. You need to be the one to go beat the boogeyman so you get all that credit. Like Bakram, him stopping Tim Tszyu, that gave him the juice because he stopped Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu was peaking at that time.
But on to the point that you was just making about Virgil can afford to take the loss. In my rational thinking of saying, for me, if I was Virgil, I would be pushing for this fight. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about my fan base, whatever. I lost to the great Jerome Boots Ennis. You feel what I'm saying? We're both young enough that we can turn this into a trilogy.
But look, so that's us. That's like how we think. That's how we think, AC. He thinks, you know what he think? He like, shit, I'm in my 3rd division. And I ain't had a belt. So I'll take somebody who I think is food right now because he think Earl is food. That's why he said it. I don't think he gonna take nobody else if he don't think they food because they want to actually get him a strap. So he should be going for Boots. He should want to knock the luster off of Boots, but I think in their heart of hearts, they know Boots. They know that's
a tall task because
it's a tall task.
The athleticism, the skill set, nobody can deny that about Jerome Boots Ennis. You feel what I'm saying? Although for me, I'm like, I see a way for Virgil to win, but I clearly see the punch that Boots is going to constantly work on if they're doing film study. That's going to just constantly put Virgil on his ass throughout the whole fight. So I'm like, okay, bro, win, lose, or this one. You may lose this one. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna lose this one. But the rematch and how you prepare yourself and the type of fights you take and maybe the type of fighters you go after to get you in position for the rematch, this is where, even though you're coming off of what many boxing fans would say is a good loss, but your road back can make you more legendary than the guy who just beat you. Let's say you lose, and then you say, you know what? I haven't had a belt yet, and ain't nobody, Bakaram just destroyed what's the name, and he's gonna sit over there again. From what I took away from the Boots fight and mold that into my style and understand the mistakes I made, Bakaram ain't got a chance with me. I'm about to maul a puncher. You go out there and you destroy Bakaram because Boots ain't gonna fight him. And then you unify with a Tim Tszyu, or you unify, let's just say, I don't know. You just unify with one of the other champions. Again, you'll roll back to fighting the guy that just beat you because they're gonna want to move him more now because now he's got a nice cushion. I just beat Virgil, so you got a cushion now. They're gonna let Boots go out and get, a couple of easy touches. That's the what's the name, blueprint.
I don't see Virgil. I don't see Virgil. Virgil is good. He and my bosses to watch. He's a good pressure fighter, all that. But like Virgil, it's some killers at 54, bro. And if that man get knocked out or stop like did that man get knocked out or stop like how Earl got stopped or something like that, they gonna handle that man with kid gloves, man. Like I swear, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm for real. They not gonna let. It's brutal. Like they are not gonna let, because Tim Tszyu was biting off more than he can chew. That's why I say, like, sometimes you gotta protect fighters from themselves. And I say that he got a fan base. They got a fan base to where, like, let's just say he get brutally knocked out, right? Let's just say Boots brutally knock out Virgil, right? His fan base is gonna be forgiving enough to where they still gonna want to go out and buy his tickets, and they not gonna be out here doing videos talk about how he sucks and all this. If Virgil do that to Boots, oh man, Boots, we gonna go ham on Boots. That's just
Yeah.
how we are, and we ain't gonna be as forgiving. That's just how we are. But he still be able to go on. Look at Jose Ramirez. That's a prime example. Jose Ramirez, that's the prime example. This man turned down more title shots than most people ever even sniffed to get an opportunity. But he got a fan base because he could always go out to California and sell out because they're going to come out. They want to see a fight. They want to see an undercard. They want to see their locals on this undercard. So he always going to have a way to be able to make bread as a former champ and all that. Virgil can't even say he's a former champ. Like, he could say he like an interim champ, but he can't say, like, that's just like Williams Zepeda. He can say that he was an interim champ and they marketed him with Tevin Farmer as a real deal and got some bread in Mexico, but he can't say he a full champ. It's not they was never gonna, unless they're gonna have to prove me wrong. They were never gonna allow him to risk himself without getting one of them major belts. That's why I don't even think we should get caught up in even trying to be infatuated with a Boots fight.
Yeah,
he should have the energy to want to fight Boots, but they not gonna do it.
Now, I just want to answer Johnny's question real fast. Johnny, the reason why I say I don't believe Boots is going to fight Bakram because he had the opportunity to just go straight ahead and fight him. You feel what I'm saying? His next fight could have been a unification, and that then relieves him of the 10-pound rehydration. You feel what I'm saying? You're moving up in weight. You feel what I'm saying? Do I think after that he fights Bakram? I'm gonna say no, because at the end of the Lima interview, the Lima post-fight press conference, he was asked about Bakram, and Bakram is not really in the cards. He's just not a fighter that Eddie's interested in making a fight with.
But they use his name.
But they use his name. You feel what I'm saying? But if you listen clearly to what Eddie was saying, he was like, yeah, Bakram is a name. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing in it to make that fight with Bakram.
That's why. But AC, you see what you just said? See, yeah, I was never nothing in
Eddie
it.
Said, yeah.
Yeah, you see, I was never nothing in it when it might be an ass whooping in that Cracker Jack box.
Yep.
And when you deep down and you eat a couple of them Cracker Jacks and you see down and it might be, oh man, that's an ass whooping. If it's a possible ass whooping, oh no, you already got fans saying that. You already got fans saying, oh man, just because he did that to Tim Tszyu, man, we hyping this dude for this and that. We doing this. It's like, nah, bro, it might be an ass whooping in that. That's why it's like it don't look as appealing. It might be an ass whooping with Bakram. It might be an ass whooping with Mel. Virgil, you always seen Virgil get dropped and arguably beat by Boychuk, who got stopped by Brandon Adams and then got beat up by Brandon Adams again. Ain't nobody even trying to see Brandon Adams.
Yeah.
They're writing on the wall, y'all.
And Brandon and Boychuk was supposed to have ducked out of the Boots fight to go fight Brandon Adams and then gets beat up by Brandon Adams. Outpointed by the man.
So either way, look. If you, and I'm being critical, but I'm looking at it from a dude that they say is like the next pound for pound #1 guy. Boychuk had already been stopped by Brandon Adams. That was their first option. Yeah. Virgil, they're chasing Virgil, but Virgil arguably already got dropped twice and got beat up by Boychuk and didn't get the nod. Yeah. But yeah, maybe Mel and maybe Bakram. It's like, come on, bro. The writing is on the wall.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, bro. Bakram is not in the cards, man. Bakram, I don't know what to do with Bakram, because it's just gonna be somebody that's gonna come up there, have the fucking balls to fight him, and then they're not gonna get kind of maybe the credit they deserve for beating him, because maybe #1 Bakram might be off of a long layup because he's just being like, nobody wants to play with him in his sandbox. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, the dude can easily probably be, after this fight, we might not see Bakram until sometime in 2027. And that would, and by that time, that would probably be a Floyd Schofield, Brian Norman moving up to 54, and he wants to make the statement, and he's looking at the landscape and saying, okay, ain't none of y'all dudes really wanted to fight Bakram. We'll make a deal. Hopefully Bakram get a tune up before then, and then we'll move up and fight Bakram and show y'all what we about. And I think it may be a fighter like that or something like that, but I don't know if any of those champions are gonna go after Bakram because everybody's making excuses.
Yeah, I think he fights Kelly on the same day Tio and Shakur fight, January 31st. I think their fight's in England.
Yeah, so that's kind of like all I'm saying, and it's
sad, man.
Yeah, exactly. Not cool.
Sad, man. It's sad because this is what bothers me, and we can wrap up. I didn't realize it was this late, but like this is what bothers me, man. It's like we be talking all this legacy. We want to see the top dogs. It's like it's gladiator, but then like when it come down to the obvious things, like why this person didn't do that, we gotta be considerate of their business moves. Like we gotta be considerate of Boots' business moves as to why he didn't fight Bakram moving straight up. We gotta be considerate that he gotta get acclimatized and he gotta do this, and that's the best for his business. But when Virgil come out and say, "Hey, listen, man, this is the best for my business," oh no, you a duck. It's like, no, man. It's like, but Boots, didn't you turn down a fight with Virgil? Yeah, but didn't you turn? Yeah, you turned down a fight with Virgil already, right? So now that the ball in this court, if he play that game with you, why are y'all mad? It's a boogeyman out there that you can go get, but okay, oh no, that's an asshole. Okay, all right, that's high risk. Come on, man. Like it's we pick and choose. We pick and choose. That's the problem. Yeah. It's like if you want if the dust was if we wanted to just let the dust settle, right? In a perfect world, Boots would go fight Bakram. You know what I'm saying? You would allow Virgil to go do his thing and get it on with Fundora. It could only work to your favor because it'll be another war that Fundora got to go through. It'll be more film. You could let Virgil go, you know what I'm saying? But you're chasing Virgil down knowing that that's the style that caters straight to you, that you knock straight out the park. But you don't want to risk, you don't want to chop it up or risk it. You don't want to risk the biscuit against Mel. Either one of them ain't going to give you a belt right now. You know what I'm saying? But you expect Virgil to fight you and get out of that line because if you obliterate him, it ain't no more interim WBC champ. He'll never be, he won't, in the climb back up, 154 is brutal. You get knocked out at 154 and you try to climb back up the ranks. Your ass might get knocked out a couple more times by somebody that ain't even got a belt on your way back. So that's just the problem with boxing, man. We're gonna keep it a buck, man. People pick and choose when they want to be all monstrous and pound for pound number one. You know what I'm saying? People pick and choose when they got that energy. You know, they find a reason as to why that might not be so convenient. Oh wow. Congratulations, Johnny. That's what's up, man. I'm happy for you, bro.
Hey, Bodywork, you was talking about the line of thinking of our fans not being so forgiving, right? Like, how do you think about that when it comes to this fight next weekend with Norman versus Haney? Like, if Haney takes a similar L to the likes of Ryan, like, where does his career go? You think the fans will be forgiven, even though he's taking on the best fighter there? How does his career go after this fight next weekend if he takes a similar L to, like, the Ryan fight?
If he get brutally knocked out, people are going to be more truthful about his career than they ever were. And I don't know if their pride is going to be able to handle it, you know, because of how they're going into this fight. If they were a little bit like, if they were a little bit more truthful about the level of competition going into this fight, maybe. Like if they were in there saying, listen, I know it's risk, you know what I'm saying? We know that he, you know, we know he got a skill set. We know that he's a champ. We know that, you know, he's a tough out. If you know, we know that. But listen, we're gonna figure him out. We're gonna make the adjustments that we need. If they're going in there saying this man is a bum, like he's a bum. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like if he do something, I'm gonna have to demonstrate or something like just some. And they call himself Debo. If he get brutally knocked out, man,
you don't think there's no recovery after that,
man? You might well cancel Christmas because they're gonna say they're gonna go back and be truthful about the Ryan fight and what it really did and the residual damage from that, because they were not as truthful about his performance with Jose Ramirez as they should have been. And he burnt a lot of bridges. So the thing is with this is, if he get brutally knocked out for the amount of money he used to getting, and for him to come back, he gonna have to fight some killers. Like, cause he jumped over some killers at 40, man, and landed at 47 to get Brian Norman. Well, if he get knocked out, man, I don't think the fans are gonna be that forgiving, man. They're gonna say, oh man, they're gonna, if you think Ryan was bad, it's gonna be a different, because if he get hit by this guy, I don't think he getting up like that.
Well, they saying that he signed a 3-fight, $36 million deal. That's basically 12 million a pop. For where I'm at, if he gets brutally knocked out, for me, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't want to hear shit about he was still fucked up from Ryan. You feel what I'm saying? Because in my opinion, that's going to take away from what we were trying to tell y'all about Brian Norman. You feel what I'm saying? If he wanted to make sure he was physically and mentally past Ryan, the best way to do it, like with race car drivers and other things like that, or follow the Eddie Hearn rebuilding AJ playbook, you get back in it. You have a crash and you're a motorcycle rider, you don't get up from the first crash and say, you know what, I'm done with motorcycle riding or motorcycle racing. That shit is too dangerous. So for me, it's like you didn't do the right steps to bring yourself there. So you didn't give us the performance even in your last fight. So at the end of the day, you can't put that loss and attribute anything to Ryan Garcia, because he had every choice to fix, repair, and deal with that situation over and over again. For 365 days, he could have did it. Then in his last fight, we didn't see anything like that. So I'm gonna look at anybody that's like, yeah, but it was, he was just because he wasn't past whatever happened to him. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Then if that's the case, he wouldn't have gotten the ring with Wilson. Yeah, but look at how he performed. That was his choice. That was something that him and his daddy did. You feel what I'm saying? That was something that him and his daddy made that choice. Shane said, no, I didn't train that man to do that. We trained him to go out there and make a statement. So he didn't make no statements. So you got in there with the mindset, with the training, and following everything that your dad said to do. Because I'm quite sure it was like your dad said, you know what, just take the year off of boxing. It ain't going nowhere. It'll be here when you're ready to get back and you take the fight you want to take back. Them dudes ain't did what you did. You feel what I'm saying? So he's following that. Okay, cool.
Hey, Dev, if he get brutally knocked out, hindsight will be 2020, bro.
Yeah, for them dudes like that want to make the excuses and stuff like that, for me, ain't no hindsight in it. Just fucked up, bro. I tried to warn you. I'm the homie that's telling you, my nigga. I'm telling you, stop fucking with them people over there, bro.
Man, this man.
You know, I haven't felt like this for a fight in a long time, right? The whole card next weekend, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna buy this fight. The last fight I actually bought was I want to say it was that Spence and Crawford fight. I didn't buy a fight. Well, I bought the Tank fight too. The Tank and Frank Martin fight. I did buy that one, but it's been a while, man. I'm excited for this card. It feels good.
Me too, man. Me too, man.
Feels good as a boxing fan because I just like the sport of boxing. You know, I just like to analyze fights, fantasy fight matchups in my head. Like, I think the sky's the limit for Shakur, man. If he can go in there and handle Tio, not just beat him, but outperform him like the pound for pound fighter he is. That's a statement win. That's a legacy fight. I think you were talking about that earlier too.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait for that fight, man.
I'm happy. But listen. I've been sweating Shakur for a while. I'm proud of that dude for doing this, and I hope he show out, man. Like, this redemption for me with Shakur, because I got tired of the outside of the ring shit, like the antics and saying this and that. I guess that's how they feel like they gotta be. But like, he going there and he put down a demo on T.O., nothing but love and respect. I'm back to being like, you know what I'm saying, the way I was, man.
For sure. And that December card is kind of slept on too. The December 6th card with Foster and I think Janet Beck is fighting on that card. I think Frank Pitbull is fighting on that card. Yeah, the Pitbull Roach. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's a nice card too. I'm excited about that Fulton Foster, man. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think I got Foster in that one, but I like Cool Boy's performances after that Inoue fight. I think he's looking solid.
What'd you think about Bam and Martinez, though?
Oh, I got Bam all day in that one.
Yeah, one of my guys, he ain't stopped by here. Jose Rodriguez. I think he got Puma in that one.
Yeah, man. So, Bam is that guy, man.
Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah, Bam is just that dude. I'm really excited for that Abdullah Mason fight. Like, cause Sam Noakes, he can punch. That's a big dude for 135 pounds. And if Abdullah can break him down in Abdullah fashion, that's a statement win right there.
Yeah, him and Sam is no little dude neither. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sam's a big dude for 35.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I like that. I really like the challenge because Sam is, in my opinion, just the right amount of threat that if Abdullah is constantly not on his game, Sam could give him some problems.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? So I like the fact where he's saying he's in the gym trying, making sure that he's dotting the I's and crossing the T's because, you know, this is your like first like major step up. This is like a whole new level. He's already said it. So anybody that will be on the replay be like, what do you mean this is a step up? Abdullah said it's a step up. That's all I need to hear. So if Abdullah feels it is, so at the end of the day, it's a step-up fight, and it's also for a belt.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So there's two big questions he's gonna have to answer. You feel what I'm saying? As far as pressure, who's the pressure on more for both of these fighters? I think it's spread like, you know, like warm butter on toast. It's even. Like I think they're both know what the ramification is. For Sam Noakes, he takes out a dude like Abdullah Mason. Uh, he's gonna be the hottest thing in the UK. You feel what I'm saying? For Abdullah Mason to take out Sam Nooks, I don't know if it gets the same effect because American fans, I don't know if I think they know Abdullah, but if it's always going to be a thing of who's that young dude down at 35, that tall black dude. I think Mason or something like that, and that's where the American fans kind of are with him. Us boxing purist fans and content creators in the boxing space, and those who watch, content creators that are talking relevant shit. For us, we're gonna look at this fight like this is a huge fight for Abdullah. We're gonna give him his flowers because we know, what Sam Noakes is bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited about this fight, just as well. I'm just I got Abdullah winning, but Stan might give him some problems. I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know. I just hope he doesn't. He's not going in there to work on nothing new. And even if he is, and we see that, it's still gonna be like, yeah, this kid is special.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's where I ended for me, bro. It was a great show, buddy.
Word, AC, man. Appreciate you jumping on, brother.
Yeah, for sure. And same to you, Dad. Good talking to you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys, man. Love the channel.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, Dad. Feel free to come back always, man. We up, man. Get on, man. Like I more people need to, more people like you, man. That's what the channel for, man. We could just straight talk boxing, man.
No, man, I appreciate it, man. You fellas have a good night.
All right, man. You too. All right, Johnny, man. Hey, well wishes this weekend, man. Big Papa putting out them positive vibes for Big Papa. You know what I'm saying, man? That's a wonderful feeling, man. I'm happy for you, man. It's gonna change your life. It's definitely gonna change your life, man. But we had a good cook, man. All I want to say is, man, with some positive vibes. I think Tank was set up, man. I think he was set up, man. It's looking suspicious, man. It's looking suspicious, man. I mean, and then listen to how many people say Tank fumbled the bag. I'm like, I don't know how he fumbled the bag, but I think he was set up, man. And the downfall of this guy is going to be that, man, he never respects his opponent, man. And this is not the right guy to not be respected, man. But I think this man got set up, man. I don't know. I'm still doing some homework, but it's funny how everybody's saying and using the same terminology, like it's been ordered, like it came from up top, and everybody just perpetuating that same saying. But you got good stuff to talk about, y'all. This is a 50-50 fight. The great Roy Jones. Don't take it from me. Take it from the great Roy Jones, who I happen to wholeheartedly agree with. This is another banger we got going on. Lions in the camp. You know what I'm saying? This is another great banger where we get to see a heat check, man. We get to see who got it. The biggest of the little men are going to get it on. We got another banger coming on with Janabek is saying that this man Lara is easy work. This man is prepared for takeoff. You know what I'm saying? He can make a statement. You feel me? So it's a lot going on in boxing, man. We just gotta there's a lot going on in boxing. We just gotta look. We gotta keep our eyes on the prize, man, and focus on, the pure boxers, the ones that's pure heart, the ones that, are doing what they supposed to. And yeah, I got AJ viciously knocking out. If AJ don't viciously knock out Jake Paul, then we already know it's scripted. Anyways, much love to everybody who came through and showed their support. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.